and then we should see some of that get a little reprieve. And we're looking at the landfall. We really haven't had a chance to talk really much about Milton. And, you know, this is, the winds have come down a little bit. We're looking at max winds at 120 miles per hour, moving northeast at 15. This storm had picked up speed a little while ago, moving at 17 miles an hour. That brings it closer to a landfall sooner, somewhere right near Sarasota. I'm thinking on those outer islands there. And it looks like it'll lose strength quickly going inland down to a Cat 1, but still has the velocity. Now, remember, don't focus on the line here. Don't focus on the white lines. It's just in this cone of possibility. We're going to have wind fields extending outside of this, so we're going to have those, especially northern counties, possibly getting hurricane force winds, gusts, not continue sustained winds, but wind gusts that will be a possibility. So when you get the rain band that pushes through, usually we'll have the sustained winds of, 45, maybe 50 or something like that. It's just blowing, but then you have the thunderstorm that pushes through on the band, and that's where you get sometimes those gusts, those punches of 70 to 75, and that's what we have to watch. So down here in Palm Beach County, and we could probably put up that warning map, you can see the advisories. When we're under a tropical storm warning, that means tropical storm force winds. So that's still standing. So right now from the National Hurricane Center, still pretty much confident of the passage of that storm north. But these counties to the north, which have had the damage from these tornadoes, just insult to injury, we're going to get those winds picking up. But there could be hurricane force wind gusts up in these regions the further north, as we're looking at Martin County, Palm Beach County. Some folks have put up shutters if they chose to, but probably didn't need to. But we're talking about more up in this region here. Better to have had them up just because you have the potential for the gusts to be a little more enhanced and more extreme. But we're going to continue to see that bring those rain bands. The good thing is that we had a feeling the first couple of rain bands were going to be the most pronounced and the strongest. That's generally what you see. We still have a few more trailing rain bands that don't have as much energy in them, which is good. So once this kind of pushes out, we may get a little quiet. If you zoom this out a little more, a bigger picture, see what's down towards the Keys.
Not much of anything. That's
not
good.
much of anything, but there's still a couple little bands. We'll see if they hold anything together. But then we start seeing this storm tapping into the dry slot. You get that upper level wind shear, and then down on the southern tip of the storm, look where all the rain is. If you look at the rain is north. This storm is going to be a north rain maker, which we expect to see. Most of the flooding and the heaviest bands of rain could be up to 15 inches or more going across this, Orlando, Tampa. But as you get south of Lake Okeechobee, we may get a couple more. It's the rain bands that will bring the rain, but we may get a rain band, stops raining, windy, breezy, sun breakout, rain band, stop raining. You know, it's going to be like that, and we'll get more dry slots that are coming in as we get through like tomorrow. So so overnight tonight, maybe we'll have a few more rain bands to watch, but we'll continue to watch it closely as we are tracking this. So here's another look at video. Oh my goodness, take a look at this.
Look
at that.
This is in Wellington.
Wow.
Someone is near Wellington High School, and they're obviously driving away from it.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't that crazy?
Just,
Yeah,
it's like a scene out of Twister.
And you saw the electrical line.
The transformer blowing, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very strong wedge tornado. And I'm talking about a strong EF2 or EF3. Now, they determine it, the National Weather Service will send out a survey team to look at how much the damage is from that storm. And what they'll see is then determine the basic, looking at how much the tree damage is, as well as to structures. And they'll get a determination saying this is that level of damage, so it looks like this EF2 or EF3. So that's something that we're watching closely. But still, we have tornado warnings that are active at this time. Remember, up here in Martin County, we still have a tornado warning. Folks up in Hobe Sound, Jensen Beach, and Stewart until 6:15. So we're looking at that as still a volatile situation up there. We still have some rotation still up here just over the Route 1. As you see, Stewart and Federal Highway here. We have some rotation here. We got to watch this little area right here that's going to still have some rotating possibility column of air. Now, we haven't had a visual saying this is officially a tornado, but we do have definitely radar indicated. and this could be possibly rotation. So we're watching the Doppler radar showing raindrops going one direction versus another, and then in between that you get what's called a couplet that has that potential of rotating cell that could make a touchdown as a tornado. So we're watching that very closely, as this is a very dangerous situation as it continues to move out over the A1A. A lot of lightning associated with this, and as it gets out over the A1A, it is bringing a lot of heavy rainfall. So here's live video up in Fort Pierce. We got flooding, and we still have more rain bands to go. So we have a lot of water on the roadways. We also have the wind damage from the tornado touchdown, but we still have a lot of moisture. You go north, Fort Pierce, take a look at Fort Pierce. Look at how much rain came down. In fact, meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg will peg a couple spots here showing heavy amounts of rainfall causing flooding, and that's what we have to see. So we're seeing flooding from some of those rain bands. Look at that,
4 to 6 inches. That's a lot of rain.
4 to 6 inches of rain in a short period of time, with some of these rain bands consistently pushing along the A1A or I-95. That causes substantial flooding. So you can see that right there in these areas that have been seeing that heavy rainfall, and then you add in the tornado warnings. There's wind blowing, and there's also lots of lightning, and so this has been a very volatile couple of rain bands for the last several hours, starting around 9:30 this morning. We have been just seeing one after another tornado warning. This is unprecedented that what we've been experiencing out here with the tornado warnings here in South Florida, with the rain bands associated with a storm that has not even made landfall yet. We're looking at Hurricane Milton. It's amazing.
Between 9 and midnight probably makes landfall. It really is, yeah. It's 200 miles away. This kind of gives you the look at the extent of the hurricane, 200 to 225 miles away. You get rotation on the east sides of these hurricanes with the most distant rain bands. There have not been that many tornado warnings, near the storm center, Vitas. They've been mostly well out to the east. The further away you get from a hurricane, the more rotation there is, and the more rotation and spin can occur once these rain bands make it onto the land, and the air slows down right near the ground, but it stays very fast aloft. You start getting this twisting and turning. It's called wind shear, and then those tornadoes occur down on the ground. Multiple tornado warnings. We've been on the air since 9:30 constantly, so it's been almost 9 hours now of nonstop continuous tornado warnings across the CBS 12 viewing area. And it's something I've never heard, and I'm sure the Weather Service, when they do a study, will probably see there have never been this many tornado warnings in one daytime here in South Florida.
This is going to be a record potential maker. And what we're seeing also, when we talked about it just yesterday, Michael, we talked about you do that cross-section of a hurricane, and you know that northeast quadrant is generally the most active with severe storms and tornadoes. And basically, when you draw that crosshatch there, and we did it the other night, and we were looking at potentially where we'll see possibly more of the tornadic activity, a lot of it we thought would be more in that northeast quadrant up here, where there's more rain, but yet a lot of those rain bands came in, and they started off direct in, because the track of the storm is not so much an angle on the western edge of the state. It's more on a direct inward motion. It's an inward flow that's coming across. You can see here the direction that we're going to see most of that energy. So if you did a cross section, a lot of this area got a lot of the tornado warnings one after another, with all that vorticity and velocity and upper air winds that are pulling on this and wind shear. But nonetheless, it created a lot of spinning motion in the atmosphere to help create these tornadoes. And then you get that strong southerly wind. We had a strong southerly wind coming up out of the south that helped create that rotation, and upper level winds that are aloft spinning as well, helping create more pull to create stronger tornadoes. So you have to have aloft generally these tornadoes. These kind of tornadoes, I worked in Indiana, and I know about these type of tornadoes. We would track in Indiana constantly. You would see this. This is the kind of activity you would see. Now, here's a video of that tornado that touched down in northern Palm Beach County. Take a look at that wedge of this tornado. This was up near North Lake Boulevard, a wedge tornado, and we could see this was earlier today when we had that tornado, and we had that visual and that warning. It was a tornado emergency, basically, because you have this large of a tornado near a highly populated area out near Wellington, heading into Royal Palm, then Loxahatchee, the acreage. All of these folks had to take shelter. And this is what we talk about when we say these storms could be volatile and very deadly, because they make a touchdown and then they have all kinds of debris. We looked at our coalition coefficient, one of our modes of radar that shows debris. We could see that debris. Take a look at that video crossing the beeline, and you can see it breaking the power lines there. That's part of the outages we're going to see. And boy, that is just something, Mike.
I mean, you see a lot of rotation. You see the inflow of the air coming into the tornado. You also saw that tornado crossing over the roadway. There's also some sparks indicating the tornado probably hit a transformer or the power lines. And also, you know, very windy. The debris got it just kind of spinning all over the place. And again, confirmation, Vitas, not only from this video, but the other videos we've shown, and also the damage out there in Avernier of a very deadly tornado. Hopefully not deadly, but probably at least an EF2 that's come across the area. Not only in the Wellington area, but, you know, of course, we've got the video we showed in the St. Lucie County area of all the tornado damage in that area as well. And even right now, we still have, looks like I think we're just down to one tornado warning right now. The one further north has expired.
The good news, yes, we're seeing this push off the coast, and we're looking at our remaining tornado warning with nothing following it, which we had all day. But the good news is this is kind of making its way north of Hobe Sound, north out over the beeline, but there's a lot of lightning. We're seeing a lot of lightning associated with this, so I think the threat level has diminished. But if you go to our velocity mode, we'll kind of see, is there still some rotation? Yeah, we still have some rotation.
Right at the coast, St. Lucie Inlet.
So you would, right at the inlet.
So that hopefully that's moving off. It looks like that'll move offshore shortly.
Yeah, you'll probably see a water spout. Folks in their homes that are out in this area along there, they'll probably see those dark clouds and a water spout. So I think the threat level, if you were to ask me, has gone down quite a bit, and we look a little bit better. But now we go from mode after this tornado warning expires, we're going to go into hurricane mode, and we're going to start tracking Milton for you and talk more about where that's going to track and the effects that we can see from that storm and what you may see. Now, of course, with the tornado damage, that we're dealing with that before this next system moves through. So there's before the winds really start picking up and getting too gusty. I mean, teams of people are out there, neighbors helping each other, coming out with brooms, and watch out for broken glass. Be very cautious. And when you're doing cleanup with those power lines down, because there will be power lines down. Pay attention to what your sheriff, your fire department says, emergency management, they say stay inside, don't venture out. If you have minor damage, just let it be there, relax, get it the next day once the storm passes. But I know some folks might have had some compromise to their homes. They may have damage to their homes where their roof is open. They may have to go hunker down at a neighbor's home. Make sure you check on the elderly and your friends to make sure they're okay. If they need something, give it to them, help them out. That's what this is about. We have to unify during these things and make us stronger to get through them. So that's what us Floridians do. By way of me being from Michigan, I root for Floridians. Let's go. So let's get through this, and then we're going to continue to track this storm. So let's talk about what we're seeing here. The final warning is our tornado warning for Martin, St. Lucie County. We're looking at Hobe Sound, Palm City, and Stewart. Active right now. It's just making its way off the coast near the inlet.
Offshore, yep.
Yeah, Michael, talk it out.
It looks like it's a little bit offshore there, Vitas. We see the velocity signature right there near the St. Lucie Inlet, just to the southeast of Stewart. It is moving north at about 40 miles per hour. So again, it expires at 6:30, which is in about 10 minutes, 8 minutes from now. So hopefully this is going to be the last tornado warning for quite a while, because as you look further off to the south and west, into Palm Beach County, a little bit of a cell offshore. Looking further down into Broward and Miami-Dade County, there are some bands, but they almost seem to be almost dissipating.
Right here.
Now, I think there could be a reason for this, is because it looks like Milton, is starting to weaken. It's undergoing wind shear. It's undergoing dry air intrusion. It is down to a Category 3 right now. And if we take a look at the distance from the center of the eye to West Palm Beach is 180 miles. And most importantly, if you look north of the line I'm drawing, that is the northeast quadrant. So St. Lucie, Indian River, Martin, you're still in the northeast quadrant. While Palm Beach County and areas south are outside of that northeast quadrant. So that means the tornado risk is less in the southeastern quadrant. With a lot of dry air actually working in, and there's some indications of what we call an extratropical transition, where you're starting to get some temperature differences involved with it. It's looking very lopsided on the north. Okay, so we still have the hurricane to go. It's probably going to be making landfall between I would say 8 or 9 and 11 or 12 tonight. So it looks like it's sped up. We thought it was going to be 2 p.m. But as we go through the overnight period and into tomorrow, we're still going to be looking at, tropical storm force winds for Martin and St. Lucie County, and perhaps hurricane gusts up to 60 to 70 for St. Lucie and also Indian River and Okeechobee County. So again, the only tornado warning left is in Martin and St. Lucie County. This is in effect until 6:30 tonight. But like we've been talking about, the cell has pretty much moved offshore the St. Lucie, and there's still a bit of a danger, I think, for those of you in Hutchinson Island right now, and areas near Jensen Beach. But that bright white there and the purple looks like, again, is just about heading off the coast right now, and it will continue to move away. So more than likely, this tornado warning will be allowed to expire within the next few minutes, and then we'll be left with a little bit of a break, at least in the precipitation or the rain shield. But nevertheless, there's still, a frequent amount of lightning associated with this. So if you're in the Stewart area, Jensen Beach, St. Lucie County, we're still seeing lightning, but that also is pushing offshore. All right, so you're just left with basically a little bit of, light to moderate rain. There again, the lightning moving offshore, the velocity couplets moving offshore, and regarding the rainfall, we'll pull that up and see what's going on.
They've had a lot.
Rainfall.
We saw some video.
That is also heading off the coast as well. So the threat is definitely going down, I think, for eastern Martin County.
What about we had that 6 inches of rainfall up there in St. Lucie County? Right. That's a lot of rain, and there's been some flooding we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So
eastern Indian River and northern St. Lucie County, certainly a fair amount of flooding going on. We'll sample some of those
Vero
colors
Beach,
there.
Look at that.
Yeah, 7 inches in parts of Vero Beach. Look at that.
Yeah.
Fort Pierce, we're looking at 4.4. Viking, 5.5 inches of rain up there near Sebastian, and also the northern part of Hutchinson Island. So widespread 5 to 7 or 8 inch rain totals in eastern Indian River County. There's been a lot of flooding in that area as well, Vitas, as well as the tornado damage that we've seen across our area. Right.
So folks, just if you don't need to venture out, you're still home. You're like, I'm curious to see what's going on. I would stay away from it because there's a flash flood warning for that area. So all along the A1A, stretching from Fort Pierce through Vero Beach all the way to Sebastian, you are under a flash flood warning. That means there's active flash flooding going on. That means there's water over roadways, they're impassable, and you have to just let that water go down because the ground has been saturated. We had several inches of rainfall, 2 to 5 inches of rain over the last couple of days. We had a little reprieve earlier today, a little break, allowed for us to just get a little bit of sun breaking through the clouds. It was nice for a moment. It's the calm before the storm, but definitely Mother Nature had something to spin for us, and we got belted with rain, gusty winds of the tornadoes, and that has really been the story down here in South Florida. We still have a hurricane. Yes. Have we forgot? Yes, we're under hurricane watches and warnings over to the west, and then we of course have tropical storm warnings for us as we actively see that make its way onshore. But this should be expiring shortly. As you can see, we're going to see this expire in the next couple of minutes as we see that rotation move offshore. And Michael, we feel a little bit confident that should be kind of quieting down, just clouds and breezy out there. Gradually, winds starting to pick up tonight. If you zoom out a little bit, do you see anything else down there as far as
we don't see that. So, this may very well be the worst of the severe weather that we see with this, Vitas. I mean, possibly. If we look at, we'll take a look at the hour by hour later, but I remember seeing it from earlier today. A lot of this rain is supposed to have moved through. The heavy rain will be along and north of the center of the track. Yeah. So the biggest threat, I think, late tonight will be just showers. Hopefully no more tornado warnings. And then we'll get, again, those tropical storm or perhaps hurricane gusts on the Treasure Coast later on. Yeah, look at the dry slots coming in, where all the moisture on the north side of this storm. So, Jim, Liz, a lot of damage with this system that's moved through.
A lot of damage. This is from Port Salerno, apparently some downed power lines in that area. And I know we haven't gotten the video into our system yet, but that area that we were talking about, Avenir, there's a lot of damage and power lines are down, transformers are out.
Now over at Port Salerno, I actually know somebody who lives in that neighborhood who got hit, and we have our John Evanson who's on the ground there, and I've been watching his reports. It's pretty extensive according to John. We've got the power map up, so let me just get to that real quick. We're looking right now, according to FPL, 13,000 people in Indian River County, close to 4,000 people in Martin County, and let's see, 20,000 in St. Lucie County are without power, and another 5,000 in Palm Beach County. So right now, St. Lucie County really dealing with power outages. And if you've got a battery-powered radio, this is a good way to get your news and weather. I know some of our radio partners are streaming, so that's not a bad idea, especially as the night progresses. Vitas, the big question for me is, how long are we going to be seeing these? Are these going to be spinning up throughout the evening as the sun goes down? And I mean, is this something we're going to see, for the next 12 hours or so?
No, I think that generally with hurricanes, every hurricane's different. Of course, all of them are different, but the leading rain bands that we usually start seeing earlier in the day to the afternoon generally have the most velocity and have the most potential for spin. And so we've seen those rain bands push through starting at 9 o'clock this morning early, and that's kind of like with Helene. We already had early morning tornado warnings that last time. It looks like this had more significant direct impacts on us with that potential because of the strength of that storm number one, stronger, and also the direction of that storm and what we were experiencing here. So to answer your question, I think we're looking better. I would say 80% better from tornado situations. Not to say we can't get something else spin up, but I say 80% as we see quieter conditions. When I say quieter, rain-wise, but of course our winds start to pick up now. So the damage that's been caused by tornadoes we have to deal with, and then we have to deal with what's on the ground and people having to kind of refigure what they're going to do, especially in Indian River, Okeechobee, and St. Lucie counties, which these were hit pretty hard, but also here in Palm Beach County, a lot of damage from tornadoes just a little while ago, and we are seeing that imagery coming in.
We are tornado warning free, Vitas. They're all expired.
Okay, so we are officially tornado warning free. That has
Since
been allowed to expire.
9 hours of tornado warnings.
9 hours.
Unprecedented.
Coverage. So now what's next is we're going to continue to track Milton, and it's moving a little quicker. And once the center of that eye gets onshore, whatever landfall it hits, then we'll have the location of the landfall, and we'll know what's going to be happening as far as what our impacts will be. We'll be back with more information on Milton, our effects from tornado damage, coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back, everyone, to our continuous coverage of tracking Milton, a fierce hurricane that is getting closer and closer to the Florida coast. We've been watching Vitas and Michael on the air with tornado warnings that have now expired in our area, but we have our crews out assessing the damage, and it will be extensive.
Yeah, our story really has changed. I mean, here we are tracking Milton, and then we had this outbreak of tornadoes since early this morning. Many of them have created a lot of damage. We're going to head out to Victoria DeCarnis, who's been standing by for some time. She's over in Fort Pierce off of Raspberry Road. And Victoria, what are you seeing there?
Hey, Jim and Liz. Yeah, a lot of flooding here in Fort Pierce, specifically on Raspberry Road. We had a viewer call in and tell us to come assess the damage now, and we've started to see people come out of their homes. We finally had the break in the rain that's been going on, as all of you know, for hours. We've been watching our weather crews talk for about 9 hours today just on these warnings, and a lot of rain has come through the area. I want to show you this side, people walking and assessing their damage. Now, the water doesn't seem too deep where I'm standing right now. I don't want to venture any further, but there are some kids riding their bikes through the puddles, just kids being kids. Neighbors kind of, comparing notes of what they saw today. One of the residents here told us that he saw that tornado in St. Lucie County that we've showed you pictures that was on Orange Avenue earlier today. That was a massive tornado. I saw the video ourselves. We're working to get that on air for you guys so you can see just how big this tornado was that blew through the area. A lot of people out here barefoot. I would recommend against this because we don't know what's in this water, any debris that's sort of floating through these waters. But neighbors do tell me that anytime it rains out here, this is what it looks like. And all of them are in shock. Some of them are scared because anytime a car drives by, the rainwater kind of rushes into their garage. We've heard of people going out to the stores to see if there's any sandbags they could purchase to kind of block the water from coming into their homes and potentially into their garage. And I'm going to have my photographer pan over right here because their biggest concern is that all of these homes here are surrounded by a lake, and they said that the rain has really pushed the shore of the lake closer to their homes. They're about 8 to 12 feet closer than what they should be, so people are worried that the water will now enter through their backyard if it's not entering through their front yard. And they're worried because, Hurricane Milton has not made landfall yet. People are worried about the rainfall that will continue to happen throughout these overnight hours. And we've been talking about Milton's landfall coming around midnight tonight. So people will not be able to assess the damage how they're able to do so now. But we've seen several cars. I want to have our photographer pan just one more time. We see a lot of cars doing this here. I think this is a Dodge truck down at the end driving through the rain. This is not a good idea, guys. We always say turn around, don't drown. You never know how deep the water actually is, and you never know what's underneath it. But we're going to continue to go around Fort Pierce and in the St. Lucie area. So if you have any damage that you would like for us to sort of check out, we've at least confirmed 2 spots where tornadoes have ripped through. You can always send that our way. Jim, Liz?
Yeah, Victoria, I know you were over in the Fort Pierce area a little bit earlier. You got some of that tornado damage. I believe you were at the sheriff's office, correct?
Yeah, we were at the sheriff's office where a tornado blew through the hangar at the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. But here's some good news that I want to tell you. We spoke to the sheriff. They were able to get the vehicles that would help assist you in case if you were in trouble. They were able to get those out. They literally brought out cranes to remove the metal, those high water vehicles that sit real high that are able to cut through these flood waters. They were able to retrieve that. The Sheriff Pearson wants to make sure that everyone at home knows if they need to go get you for whatever reason, they can do so. That is not inhibiting their job at all. They said that they've got about $500,000 worth of equipment out, but millions of dollars worth of damage left behind. They can't touch it right now, especially with waiting on Milton to make its way through. So that's going to take some time, but millions of dollars worth of damage at the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office just from that tornado. The sheriff said he was inside of his office when that happened. He didn't hear much, but he said it happened in a split second. He walked outside and the hangar was crushed. It looks like it was just a mangled mess. It's incredible video to see.
Okay.
Microphones.
Yeah, I was microphones. And Victoria, you know, one of the things we were talking about too, as you assess the damage, is that there's a lot of power outages over in that area. I'm not sure if she's still with us or not.
I know that I lived through a flood and I saw the water coming into my house and just instinct kicked in, and I tried to elevate all my furniture as much as possible. I turned all the chairs on top of the tables, you know, the seating and the dining, and I put our sofas on paint cans. I tucked the dust ruffles into the bed.
Just to make sure you saved whatever was inside.
Well, I could say we're out of our house for 3 months because it sucks, the water goes into the baseboard and sucks in through the drywall. But just, you might be able to save some of your stuff.
Some pro tips.
Some pro tips.
You know what, the flooding is a big issue. Let's bring in Michael and Vitas. And, you know, initially you guys were saying that this wasn't going to be a big rainmaker for us on our end, Michael, that we'd be spared a lot of the heavy rain.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
Well, we got 5 to 8 inches, guys, in Indian River County. So we've had a lot of rain due to the training of the radar echoes during the morning and during the afternoon hours. And yeah, parts of the Treasure Coast, those areas were forecasted to get the highest amounts of rain totals, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. Obviously, they've seen more rain in that area. And hopefully the heaviest rain is over with. I think that will stay north of our area tonight, but we're still going to get tropical rain bands into the area. Nevertheless, here's the 6 o'clock advisory. In case you didn't notice, we haven't been showing this much because we've been busy with tornado coverage for the last 9 hours, but Milton has weakened to a Category 3 with top winds of 120 miles an hour, gusts up to 150. The pressure is all the way up to 948 millibars. And you'll notice the eye is not far from making landfall. In fact, the forecast track shows it's probably going to be making landfall sometime before midnight. There's a look at the 2 a.m. advisory, and it will be well inland already, weakening to a Category 1. And then by tomorrow, it looks like during the afternoon hours, it's going to be offshore with winds of 70 miles an hour. So we'll move quickly across Florida and then weaken to a Category 1, and then move offshore probably as a 1 sometime during the morning hours tomorrow. And then it will continue to move further east, well out into the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean. So we're still holding with the same tropical alerts that we've had since 11 o'clock last night, or even 5 o'clock. Hurricane warnings for Okeechobee, Indian River, and also St. Lucie County. Tropical storm warnings from Martin and also Palm Beach County for the potential for tropical storm force wind gusts. There's a look at the wind profile. This is tomorrow morning, and you'll notice all of our area under tropical storm force, at least gusts 39 miles an hour or higher. The hurricane is expanding. As of last check, the tropical storm force winds are more than 200 miles from the center, and you can clearly see that there. And Indian River County and Okeechobee, likely 59 mile an hour higher wind gusts, probably 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts, with most likely the sustained hurricane force winds staying out of our area, and then again continue to move offshore. But all day tomorrow, it's going to be windy. Winds will gust up to 50 to 60 on the Treasure Coast and even higher. Tropical storm force wind probabilities will vary high, especially in Fort Pierce, Vero, and Okeechobee, up there between 95 and 100%, dropping down to 81% Jupiter to Stewart, and still a high probability of 60 to 70% for tropical storm force winds there in the Palm Beach County vicinity. And regarding hurricane force wind probabilities, those are a lot less. So looking at our model wind gust forecast as we go through this evening, well, we had the rain and tornadoes today. The winds will slowly pick up. They're already picking up in places. By 10 o'clock tonight, winds gusting between 35 and 41 miles an hour. We head on into Thursday morning. Winds out of the south and southwest as the hurricane, again, will be right over central Florida at that time. Winds gusting into the 50s along the Treasure Coast, and between 40 and 50 miles an hour for the Gardens to Boca. We head on into later tomorrow afternoon, winds gusting into the 30s and 40s out there. So it looks like the peak winds will be probably early tomorrow morning up until about midday. Flood watch no longer in effect for Palm Beach County. In fact, flood watch still in effect through Thursday morning for Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee County. And there's again a flood warning in effect for much of the Treasure Coast due to all the rain that's fallen today, in excess of 5 inches in places. There is the hour-by-hour forecast, and again, there's that eye. Again, we'll be well offshore by tomorrow morning. This is actually our graph model, which actually has a little bit of a quicker pace than the National Hurricane Centers. And you'll notice not a lot of rain on the southern side. There's a lot of dry air that's getting worked into the south and southwest side of the system, so the bulk of the rain will be along and north of the track. So it may very well be the case. We get a few occasional rain bands tonight and showers, and hopefully no more tornado warnings. That threat is reduced a lot, but it's certainly not zero. Then by later tomorrow, that hurricane is well out in the Atlantic, continuing to weaken out there. So here's a look at the history. As you'll notice, we did see winds on Monday night, which is off the chart here, at 185 miles an hour. That makes it and the pressure at 897 millibars. That makes it the 5th strongest Atlantic Basin hurricane on record, and records go back more than 170 years. And then we had eyewall replacement cycle. The winds went down on during the day Tuesday. Then they picked up to 165, back to a Cat 5. And then now we're seeing a steady, slow, gradual weakening, which is certainly good news before landfall. This, again, due to the wind shear out there and less favorable water temperature conditions. Spaghetti models tightly clustered here. Landfall probably in the Sarasota or Longboat Key area south of Tampa Bay, so that lessens the threat. It doesn't drop it significantly, but as far as the worst flooding, that will be south of the storm center's location in the Longboat Key area down to Venice. And you can see that tropical heat potential is the yellow out there. So again, less wind potential out there. We're going to have more as we go to commercial break in just a few minutes.
We continue our coverage of Hurricane Milton and assessing all the damage in our community.
Our John Evanson joining us now in Stewart near a school that suffered some damage. John, what does it look like out there?
Hey guys, I'm here at Murray Middle School in Port Salerno, where I am witnessing firsthand just how powerful the tornado was that ripped through here maybe about an hour or so ago, maybe 2 hours. I've kind of lost track of time, but the roof has seemingly just blown off the school. This is the old building of the school right here, and right behind it is the new school. But you can see on the pavement here, these are chunks of the roof that just more or less exploded. This is styrofoam and this is pure concrete right here, and it has been just shattered across the parking lot here. And you could see how far that concrete and styrofoam exploded to, the distance where it took these chunks of roof all the way over there to the park. And you can see also, Ed, here, just by our vehicle over here, pieces of the roof right there. You can imagine if you were walking around this area when this tornado came through, this concrete would have just been falling from the sky. It would have been very a dangerous situation. You can see the firefighters going in to the old school right now, which is, I'm assuming, that is the building where the roof, lack of a better word, just exploded as this tornado ripped through here. The alarms were blaring when we got here. I am tempted to go talk to them, but they look like they're doing a job right there. I wonder if I should just ask if they could tell me what's going on. Here, let's try. Hey, sir, was the roof blown off this particular building right here?
No.
What's all this concrete and styrofoam?
I'm not sure. I don't talk.
Is there any damage in there right now, or?
Yeah, there's damage all over the place.
All over the place. And assumingly the tornado, this gentleman here is a neighbor who lives next door. And his home is not damaged, he told me, but when he walked outside, he couldn't believe his eyes. Tell me what happened when this tornado came through here. What's your name, by the way?
My name is Ruben Quesada. We hear a lot of noise, a lot of water and everything, and like everything's like quiet, and then everybody started calling me and said, Ruben, are you okay? Everybody okay? I said, we're fine. But your house is burned, destroyed. I said, no, the school is really bad. That's right here.
Can you believe it? You literally live next door to this school, and you're telling me your house is fine, but you see all this concrete, scattered all over the place here. The roof seemingly blew off. How lucky do you feel? How scary was this for you?
My heart is still shaking because I never feel that bad, but it's really, really scared.
Yeah,
really scared.
When you came out, did you what did you first witness? Did you witness some of the damage, some of the concrete and the styrofoam that we're seeing around us
That's
here?
what I see. I cannot believe the concrete and all the gutters and the concrete all over the place. Look at the house, the roof of the house is gone, is over there.
That's a good point. I don't know if Ed can get a shot of the houses over there, but some of the roofs have been damaged over there as well. You can see the fences are damaged. People are just getting to work here. They're
brand new fence right there.
Brand new fence.
Like a couple months.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Well, I'm glad you're safe, and thank goodness your house doesn't seem to have sustained any damage. Thank you so much. And before we go, we can just take you over here and show you what is normally, I'm guessing, the school playground over here. And if Ed keeps up with me here, you can just see again how much of the roof has been scattered all over the grass here. Just like that piece of concrete and styrofoam that I picked up. It is everywhere, as if an explosion happened here. So my goodness.
Hey, John.
This is the closest brush I've ever had with a tornado. We were here just a few minutes after it happened, and thank goodness it doesn't seem like anybody is hurt around here, and the cleanup begins. Back to you guys.
Yeah, hey, John, talking about the cleanup, I've watched some of your videos that you've been uploading, and I noticed you were in a neighborhood earlier, the one with the boat that was overturned. I noticed also everybody was already cleaning up, picking up, trying to get the roads cleared, things like that. Are you seeing a lot of that out there?
Absolutely, yeah, you saw that. I put that up on my X account as well. I think CBS 12 might have shared it. Must have been 20 guys there already cleaning up a bunch of trees that had been ripped down. They had the, what do you call it? What do you call it, Ed? The chainsaw. That's
Yes.
the word I'm looking for, chainsaw. Sorry, I'm still shocked here by all this damage. And they're taking down the trees just to keep it safer, because there's obviously more wind that's going to be coming through here. I saw a down power line completely ripped off the pole right across the street, live wires everywhere, and of course just, intertwining rivers and puddles everywhere. You don't know where the electricity is. So really, really scary scene just down the road here. Everyone needs to be really careful and just stay in if they possibly can tonight, especially when it gets dark, because you don't know where these electric currents are in the puddles and which power lines are down.
Yeah, good advice. Our John Evanson joining us from the stored area over in Port Salerno. He's been showing us some of the damage there, and we want to give you some other pictures to look at right now. This is a tornado that was spotted just off the North River shores. This is the one in the stored area. You saw John over in the Port Salerno area. A lot of the houses there may have been the recipients of this same twister, but that's not been confirmed. But they have sustained a lot of damage, and right now St. Lucie County, a lot of people there right now without their power turned on, so we're assuming that the damage there is going to be extensive.
Let's head over now to Jupiter. This was from the Jupiter Country Club around 5:23 p.m. That's when the tornado was going through the Jupiter Farms area. Jupiter Country Club is a little east of Jupiter Farms, right off Indiantown Road. This video was taken by Morgan Valkanoff.
And this is some of the tornado damage that we've been showing you. This is out of Avenir, I believe.
Yes,
is that right?
it is
This
Avenir.
is just western Palm Beach County. This is Liz's neighborhood, brand new subdivision out there out west, and these are all brand new homes, and you can see some substantial damage.
And it just goes to show you how, when a tornado goes through, and it's not like a hurricane that there's this giant swath of destruction. With a tornado, one house can be affected, and then the next door house can be fine. Which is what we're seeing. Our house, I know everyone's blowing up my phone right now asking about Craig. Craig is fine, Louie the dog is fine, and my mom are fine. They're all fine. So everyone's okay, and our homes are okay, no electricity.
And you know what, I want to point that out too. We haven't had a lot of reports of any injuries and things like that. I'm assuming there's going to be some, but at this particular moment, we haven't really heard a whole lot about that.
And as we mentioned, we are seeing a lot of tornadoes that were popping up throughout our area. This was from the Martin County Sheriff's Office, tornado on I-95, and we showed this earlier. This just overturned a semi. I mean, imagine the force of a tornado. Just turned over that semi. The Sheriff's Office says there were no injuries reported, but again, as our reporters have been reminding and our meteorologists, So is law enforcement. Don't be on the roadways if you don't need to be. As we mentioned, there are live wires that are down. There's flooding, a lot of dangers on the road tonight.
The
power's out. There's no traffic lights.
Off.
So yes, just stay inside if possible.
Another viewer sent us this video. This is a tornado over in St. Lucie County. This was heading towards State Road 80. And that is just awesome to look at. I mean,
wow.
It's almost a perfectly formed tornado there. Most of these are EF0, 1 or 2s. You don't see a lot of the big ones that you see in the Midwest, but still we're seeing.
That looks huge though, Jim.
It does look, it's significant.
Look,
you're talking about, miles per hour. As far as the damage, though, it's going to be pretty significant. We've seen these tornadoes have ripped off some roofs and caused some damage, overturning vehicles, things like that. But so far, you're not seeing homes being torn apart. So these tornadoes, we're apparently getting plenty of them today. But the strength of those tornadoes have been a little on the weaker side. If you know anything about tornadoes, these are still significant. I definitely would not want to be in the path of one of these. Hopefully, again, we haven't had anybody injured or killed because of one of these today.
All right, let's head over to Fort Myers. This is from a security camera capturing the moment that apparent tornado just blew by. Wow. The homeowner telling CNN that he did evacuate the area, but was checking the surveillance cameras outside his home, and this is what he saw and recorded.
Yeah, and it's a good, this is Fort Myers, so we're talking about, we've been concentrating on Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, our friends over in Okeechobee County as well, but all throughout the state and the southern part of the state today, especially on the West Coast, they've also been dealing with these tornadoes since earlier this morning. So there are plenty of them. I saw something earlier, said more than 50, and that was 2 hours ago. So I'm assuming that we're going to have, by the time they count them, the ones that actually landed, it's going to be significant. Fort Myers, of course, in the path of Milton as well, and we're already seeing some damage from, well, most of it is from the tornado. Tornado itself, the storm itself, Milton, hasn't made landfall yet. That's going to be just north of the Fort Myers area, but you can see already you've got down trees and power lines, damage to homes. This is a 7-Eleven gas station had been damaged. Parts of a canopy were tossed off the building and then into the street. So, just more damage for the Fort Myers area. They are still reeling from hurricanes, last year?
Yes. And this is a picture, I posted this on my Facebook page. This is next to the Panther Stadium in Sunrise, and you can see that tornado in the distance. And this is just unprecedented. We had 9 hours of nonstop tornado warning coverage. I mean, that's we've never seen, Michael and I have both been here for over 30 years. We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, so again, that's just how widespread these tornadoes are, this outbreak. That's down in Broward County. Another view, this one over in Clewiston area. This was pretty significant.
And that one you can actually see really moving quickly.
Yeah, that is just frightening.
All right, let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Vitas Reed, who is tracking Milton. And like we mentioned, it hasn't even made landfall yet, and all these tornadoes have caused so much damage.
Yeah, those outer band tornadoes. And from the couple pictures ago when you saw the stadium and off of the distance tornado, that was from the one this morning. That was the original tornado touching down around 9:30 this morning, and we've been going since. And those tornadoes have picked up in as far as strength. I'm thinking we probably saw some of those wedge tornadoes that touched down easily EF2 or EF3. I wouldn't throw out an EF3 possibly. I'm thinking we're going to probably hear that, because we saw some of the damage up there with St. Lucie County there. The police department, the very big buildings having some damage. Generally, you can have stronger EF2 or possibly a 3. So we're going to see that very closely as they send out folks to do survey damage as we go through the next several days here. But there's a lot of areas that have damage. We still have video pictures coming in. There's a lot of homes and places that we haven't even seen yet. We're just hoping it's nothing but just damaged, no one injured or anything worse than that. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and we'll keep you updated with information as it comes in, because lots of information is being sent to us, and we appreciate all the information we're getting. But now with that storm, that's part of what hurricanes bring. They bring outer bands that can have effects well ahead of the landfall. And what we're seeing are those outer bands that came through, the first few having a pretty good punch and causing tornado damage. And that was the main concern. That's what we had to go through first before we see the actual Milton making landfall. So the storm sped up a little bit, lost some intensity, but still is a strong Category 3. We're looking at winds at 120 miles per hour, gusting to 150. Central pressure at 952 millibars. As that continues to rise a little bit, then it starts to weaken a little more. So we'll continue to see how that goes as far as it makes its barreling towards near, kind of near Sarasota. We still have a little bit of a dry spot coming in on the back edge of it. The more dry air it brings in, the more wind shear it runs into, and the more that will start to lessen as far as intensity. So those are all good things. As far as the landfall, this is the latest update from the 7 p.m. update. We're looking at it possibly making a landfall near Sarasota as a Category 3 hurricane. Now, remember, outside of these, this cone of possibility, it's pretty much the direction it's going to go. No more turning and bending, I don't think. It's going to pretty much be this run here. But remember, wind fields go well outside of this, over 150 miles as far as effects. But what we'll see, especially up around the Treasure Coast, up around St. Lucie County, Okeechobee County, and up towards Indian River, you're a little bit closer to that center of circulation, and you'll have a little more of the hurricane force wind gusts. So as that makes a landfall as a Cat 3, then down to 2, loses some steam, which is good. Forecast to be down to a 1, because previous runs were bringing it out as a 1 over here, still as a 2 inland. So the more it kind of loses steam, the better off we are, and the winds will be lesser. And the further south you go from that center of circulation, that means lesser winds for St. Lucie County. It might be a little lesser, which is great. Martin County, it will be lesser, and then Palm Beach County, you'll probably have sustained winds that are blowing out there, but then you get a little wind punch here and there as far as its intensity. So that's what we're looking at, and then it'll continue to extend out into the Atlantic as it continues to go. So it's going to be making a landfall maybe earlier than expected, which we'll see, but it looks like Hurricane Milton has hurricane warnings, like I mentioned, for St. Lucie County, Okeechobee County, and Indian River County, because they're a little closer, like I said, to that center of circulation. But then we're still looking at tropical storm warnings for Martin County and Palm Beach County, which I was hoping and praying that those would not be added to this. That would mean more of a turn to the right if they added in Martin County or our county and Palm Beach County, where we are, the station. But nonetheless, since it's pretty much the same, we're looking at the track being pretty much the same and the effects being the same. So here's what it looks like as far as the wind field. We're talking about those winds extending out pretty good distance, all the way down towards Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale. But we're looking at tropical storm force winds. That's what this is, 39 to 58 miles per hour. Those are tropical storm force winds extending all the way out. But the center of circulation, the further you go, you start diminishing the winds. You have more land that's going across, the more friction, and that's something that we're talking about. So when you see that center of circulation closer to Orlando, that's why Vero Beach, Okeechobee County, and St. Lucie County are under the potential for getting more like 59 to 73 mile an hour, gusting to in the 80s at times. And that's why you said put up the shutters in those counties. But we are going to see, as far as the wind probability, you see we have a better chance for those winds to be tropical storm force, especially up Okeechobee, up around Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, Stewart a little bit, Jupiter. But it's once we get down here, you see those winds dying down, and the chances will be less. So we'll get some gusty winds moving in later tonight. And as that makes a landfall, possibly after 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So we'll see before midnight, that's what it's looking like. We'll see those winds picking up and changing up out of the south and becoming westerly as the storm exits by tomorrow. We'll still see breezy conditions out of the northwest. Actually, we'll be refreshing a little bit cooler, less humid air for a brief spell. So that will last for about a day, day and a half. So we still have to deal with some flooding, especially up around Vero Beach. And there's been some heavy rain up there. And it looks like we have flood watches still going until Thursday morning, but Palm Beach County is not included into that. We'll have more on the track of Milton, and also following up on all the tornado damage that occurred across parts of the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach County coming up.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Milton. You're taking a look now at a tornado that was moving through parts of northern Palm Beach County. This is near North Lake Boulevard. You can see how scary and ominous that is, and a few lightning flashes. We do believe that that tornado went past North Lake in the acreage area and into western Palm Beach County through the Avenir neighborhood, as well as possibly Jupiter Farms. More tornado damage along the Treasure Coast. These are pictures from a neighborhood in Stuart. You can see the debris all along the road, down tree branches, and a tree completely uprooted. And this is video just released from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. This is also in Stuart, and you can see a lot of damage there in that area. And Michael, we're going to be seeing a lot of this video coming through, through the station from, the Treasure Coast to the
Yes.
Palm Beach County, because you were on the air for 9 hours with this tornado warning coverage.
Right.
And you and I have been here over 30 years, and we've never seen anything like this.
I know, it's crazy, Liz. 9 hours of multiple tornado warnings. I can't count how many, maybe 15 or 20 tornado warnings. And hopefully we're done with the tornado threat right now. We're going over to Max 2, Director, if we can. We're going to Max 2 to show the graphics of the radar out there. Now, fortunately, after this 9-hour period, right now there isn't a whole lot going on in radar. It is kind of cloudy with a breeze really picking up across South Florida. We are looking at some heavy rain bands offshore. And we're also looking at a flood advisory, which continues in effect, actually flash flood warning until 7:30 tonight. You have had a lot of rain up there. You probably saw Victoria Cardenas' report of flooding anywhere from Sebastian to Vero Beach down to the Fort Pierce area. This flash flood warning is in effect until 7:30 tonight for Fort Pierce, Sebastian, Vero Beach. The threat is considerable. Look at the radar estimates of rainfall in this area, up to 8.5 inches near the downtown area of Vero Beach, and out there towards the beaches itself, a wonderful resort community there. 6 inches of rain just south of Sebastian. We've had 4 to 6 inches across northeastern sections of St. Lucie County. Remember, those rain bands just kept repeating over the same area for several hours, dumping a lot of rain, and also, of course, all that considerable tornado damage. 4.6 inches to the west of Stuart. We had over 2 inches south and west of the Beeline Highway. Palm Beach County, not as much. In fact, in South County, little to nothing, but we have seen anywhere from about 1 to 3 inches of rain, mostly across the northern sections of Palm Beach County. And here's the hour-by-hour forecast. Through 8 o'clock, we could see a few more bands come in through 10 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock, that band will be long gone. Then we go ahead to 4 p.m. So there is the center, just behind the banner there, the center of the hurricane, likely to move offshore of the central Florida coast, probably about 5 o'clock. Things have sped up a little bit. That's certainly good news. And then we're going to be looking at maybe some wraparound rain. There's a look at 7 o'clock in the morning. It will be windy. The sun comes out tomorrow late morning into the afternoon. And other than a passing shower here or there, hour-by-hour forecast not showing a whole lot of rainfall coming our way for tomorrow. So the worst of the rain, I think, is over with. Still, we could be looking at accumulations, according to this graph model, of a few inches up there along the northern Treasure Coast. But this is likely due to the fact that it's county rain from earlier today with much lighter totals in areas further south. So the winds have been picking up across parts of the area. As of the last hour, the sustained wind of 25 with a gust of 38 in West Palm Beach. I did see a gust up to 45 to 48 in the last hourly observation before that. So it's getting windy. 23-mile-an-hour gusts in Boynton, 27 in Boca, with mostly winds under 30 miles an hour for those of you on the Treasure Coast. And as we go through the late evening, winds continue to pick up more. Gusts up to tropical storm force, 41 in Delray Beach. This is 11 o'clock tonight, 45 in Vero, and 43 there in the Okeechobee City area. By early in the morning, this is probably when we're going to get the strongest winds. 55 in Okeechobee, 50 in Vero. And by this time, remember, the center of probably Category 1 Milton will be off of the central Florida coast, or just emerging off the coast at that hour. Winds gusting into the 40s. So tropical storm force wind gusts. That's Palm Beach County. Here's 9 a.m. Winds gusting between 55 and 60 in Fort Pierce, Vero Beach, and Okeechobee City. And then by early afternoon, we're still seeing it very windy. In fact, this model showing gusts up to 60 in Delray. So that's tropical storm force. That could blow more trees and power lines down, continue to give us power outages. And then by later tomorrow, those winds will steadily come down across the area out there. So there's still the potential for excessive rain, but that's on the northern Treasure Coast. And then that threat goes down for Thursday and Friday. Back to you.
Thanks, Michael. We're going to check in with our John Evanson on the Treasure Coast in Martin County, Port Salerno. John, I understand that you are down the street from, was it Murray Middle School, where you saw the pieces of the school fly away?
Yeah, just down the street, 48th Street, and you could see once again just another example of how powerful this tornado was that ripped through here. Liz and Jim, there are trees, palm trees that are just ripped from their roots, as you can see. A couple of them might have hit that car right there. Lots of damage. The shingles on the roof here. Oh, my goodness, I just noticed this now. One of the trees fell directly on that house there. So clearly there's damage to that roof right there. And when the rain comes later on, unfortunately, some water damage in that house. Right across the road, the roof to the church got ripped completely off. And you, what's your name, ma'am?
I'm Joanne.
And I'm happy you were telling me everyone in your house over here is safe.
We're safe, and that's my brother's house there, and that's my brother's house. We're all on this block here.
This is your brother's house?
Yeah, he's renting that out, but it belongs to him.
Okay.
All of this and relatives, we're all relatives on here. And to see all this, it don't think it can't happen to you. You know, it sounded like just a little rough wind coming through. Then after a while, it sounded like a freight train.
That's what a lot of people say.
Yeah,
yep.
it really did. And then the next thing, well, my son said, "Get up, let's get up." And we got inside. And next thing we heard all this rumbling. It took 10 roof off the that was on the house, all the way from this street, all the way over on my lot there, to the car. It looked like somebody took that tin and just set it down with you know, like when you trying to nail tin together.
Yeah.
Look, they picked up everything and nailed
Everything
them.
just looks like a toy. These heavy objects just whipped around.
That's right, like a play toy. Kids, well, you guys out there playing around. It's unbelievable.
And the street you can see right over there, Ed, is completely blocked by
all
trees.
That trees. You
What?
can't get by.
Yeah.
That's all trees. This will never be the same. In that church, the whole roof is off that church. And the saddest thing about it, and I can't get to it, I have a niece and nephew whose house, it looked like somebody dropped a bomb on the house. It's completely like it was in the line of a war zone back over off of Inez. Back in that area. Let me tell you.
I'm so sorry. I could tell that you're still in shock.
Yeah, you know, but I believe in God, and all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. And I do love God, and it's a reason behind. This is nature. This is nature. So we have to make the best of it. Thank God for what we do have.
And thank God you are okay,
Yes.
and I can see that. It was so nice to meet you, unfortunately, under these circumstances.
Sorry, I couldn't give you more, but this is just, thank you.
Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
stay safe out there. You can see right here what this weather can do, and hopefully for this area, the cleanup has just begun, and they can start to heal. Back to you guys.
John, you can really hear the emotion in that woman's voice. I mean, how devastating that is. And I think John's right. She is still in shock.
Yeah, it's been a shock for a lot of people today. Everybody expecting Milton to do some wind damage, but, you know, yeah, this has been difficult.
This is just the tornadoes. All right, we're going to come right back with more coverage on Hurricane Milton.
Welcome back, everyone. We've been covering the storm damage from this outbreak of twisters that we've had today.
Let's head over now to Indian River County. Our Katie Benty joins us live near Vero Beach City Hall, where it looks like a tornado passed through there. Katie?
Liz, it definitely does. We were driving around earlier and it was a lot of flooding. I mean, the roads looked like lakes. But when we finally saw kind of a break in the clouds, we drove around again and things look very different. Now, I want to show you a little bit here. If you zoom in just that way, I mean, you could see the railroad tracks are just down. Those poles, the flashing lights, they're down. There's a lot of metal that has clearly flown over from different areas. The fence over here completely broken down. But what's most interesting, I'm going to bring you this way slowly but surely. Don't want to trip on any of the tree branches, but this is one of the crazier things I've seen so far this evening. We're at the USPS Postal Service and one of their trucks is just laying on its side. Just completely flipped over. That shows just how strong these winds were. If not, this was more than likely a tornado that just flipped this over. We were actually talking to residents earlier, and they were all out trying to see and assess the damage, and a lot of them were saying that it sounded like a freight train outside of their house. Now, if you look over here, as you can see, it's City Hall, but right over there earlier, I actually couldn't even tell you what that was. But one of those residents told me that that's one of their tennis courts, I guess pickleball courts. These are something where everyone loves to gather. He was very upset, and understandably so. This is unprecedented. We never could have imagined something like this. When we got out of our car, we were stunned. It's definitely one of those things we were hearing from emergency officials earlier, to get where you have to go and then stay there, because it is not safe to be driving a car through these conditions. It is better to be safe than sorry and stay inside. Reporting live in Indian River County, I'm Katie Benty, CBS 12 News.
All right, and as the sun goes down, it's harder to see some of that damage, but Katie, thank you for that. Yeah, so there you go, a postal truck overturned by what appears to be a tornado, but, you know, again, we're not getting confirmation on any of these just yet. We're going to have much more when we come right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Hurricane Milton has not yet made landfall. We're still hours away from that, but we do have reporters in that area.
Yeah, we've been preoccupied with our situation right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. Our Danny Travis is joining us live in downtown Tampa with the deteriorating conditions. And Danny, the storm is yet to make landfall. I know you said it was hard to hear. Hopefully you can hear this pitch to you. What's happening?
Hear you out here because of just how much wind we are getting right now. But as you can see, guys, it is spitting rain on us. I'll go ahead and step out so you can see where we're at downtown right now. As you can see, no one is out here, and for good reason. It is really starting to deteriorate weather-wise out here. We've been out here for all day really, but in this specific spot for the past 4 or 5 hours. And I think in that whole time we've seen a grand total of like 4 people walking by. So that really goes to show downtown Tampa is a ghost town. Everyone a lot of people I should say, has evacuated. We spoke with officials earlier who say, you know, there's no way of knowing exactly how many people have evacuated, but they're hoping at least 260,000 people, which are under mandatory evacuation orders in Zone A and Zone B, which is obviously closer to the water. How many people are in those under the mandatory evacuation order? So they're hoping at least 260,000 people evacuated. But again, sure to know. But in terms of weather conditions here, you know, again, you can see just how hard it's raining, just how hard the wind is coming, because you can see with my jackets, with my hats, with these trees here behind me. But so far, nothing too bad. You know, we've seen over here, you can see a little stick, some shrubs and everything being blown around, but we're not seeing any significant damage in terms of trees down or any debris being flown around, just a few sticks here and there. So overall, not too bad here in downtown Tampa. We have been out here for a few hours now, and yeah, nothing too bad, but now Hurricane Milton is still a few hours from landfall, so conditions are certainly expected to deteriorate out here.
All right, Danny, thank you for that. You know, I got to say, those microphones do an amazing job of blocking out the ambient sound, but you could still hear the wind gusts, and it is so loud that sometimes you can't even hear yourself speak. So I know she's going to be struggling with that, and this is still hours away from making landfall.
Yeah,
so
let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed, who is tracking Milton. And when do we expect landfall?
Well, it's going to be later this evening. We're talking because it's sped up then slowed down, but it's not that far off the coast. So maybe in the next couple of hours, maybe between that, we're sitting at, well, it's almost 7:30, but we're thinking around 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock. But we'll see when the center of the circulation of the eye goes across the coast will be the official determination and location. So still a Category 3 hurricane, 7 p.m. update, looking at it moving northeast at 15, gusting to 150. Now, where Danny is sitting up there in Tampa, so she's on the back edge of the storm. Not as intense. It's intense, but not as intense with the storm surge. It's usually that front flank around the eye, and she still will get some very good gust of winds coming up as that storm gets a little closer. So we can see there's not a well-defined eye, but once that center of circulation does make it onshore, it could be within the next hour, hour and a half if it continues on the pace. But nonetheless, on the south side of it, drawing in a little bit of the drier air, which is good. A little bit of wind shear that's going to tear down that storm a little bit, and as it moves inland from a Cat 3, the forecast has it maybe be dropping to a 1 relatively quickly, but that's as we get to about 2 a.m. but still sitting down up towards just south of I-4. But then outer bands will continue to bring in those rain bands and some heavy winds. They will start to pick up a little bit, especially along the Treasure Coast. So here's what it looks like. Most of the heaviest rain is on the north side of the storm. We got the rain bands, which actually have more of the tornadoes, which we saw today, that wrap through the area. This is showing just off the coast at 7 at this time, but then maybe making that landfall in the next hour or so, or 2 hours, and then it's going to continue to track across the state. We could get a few more bands, but there's really a lot more breaks in it as we go through the overnight, and then things will start to shift out of the northwest. We'll get those winds picking up out of the northwest as we go through tomorrow morning, afternoon. Most of the activities off the coast, and we'll get a northerly, less humid breeze. There'll be some breaks in the clouds. We may get a little bit of sunshine on the back edge of this as it continues to wrap on out, which is good news. But we still have the hurricane advisories up, looking at hurricane warnings for St. Lucie County, Okeechobee County, and Indian River County, because they're a little bit closer to the center of circulation of when it comes on landfall, somewhere over near Sarasota. As that center of circulation tracks across the central portion of the state, it will lose intensity. It'll be a Cat 1 north of like Hendry County, these areas, up towards Highland County, that is. But nonetheless, those winds, the further you go from the center of circulation, die down a bit. So that's why we have tropical storm warnings for our area with the potential there. Now, as far as the winds, there's a better chance for those winds to be tropical storm force in those counties. And as we get it through the late evening overnight, that's when we'll get the biggest gust up in those areas. Then winds start to shift and die down a bit as we go through Thursday mid-morning into the afternoon. The quicker the storm goes, the quicker we're out of it. But we'll continue to track it. We have more information coming up with the meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg and Jim and Liz.
All right, let's take a look at this video. This is a tornado in the Clewiston area, and wow, that looks huge.
Yeah, that funnel is defined, Michael. That is that's significant. I know we're not going to make any guesses here,
right,
but we always talk about we have usually EF zeros
right,
to maybe even at the max 3. Today, we've seen some pretty amazing damage.
The EF0 scale, the EF scale is a scale of 0 to 5 of damage, guys. And 0 and 1 is normally what we get in Palm Beach County, which is winds up to 110 miles an hour. Today, would you call it considerable or severe damage, looking at some of the videos you saw?
I think it's significant. But I've seen homes just blown apart, so
right,
I haven't seen that.
I was saying severe, but you think it's more considerable
Well,
damage.
I think it depends on what tornado. We saw the twisted structure of this in Port St. Lucie, where all those metal beams were down over cars. I would think that would be severe, and that would fall in line with an EF3 tornado, which is winds 136 to 165 miles an hour.
And it depends on the tornado. Like you said, that when we saw that in Martin County, that huge metal structure, you know, the hangar come down, yes, that is severe. Maybe that one was an F3, but maybe what went through Avenir was F2.
Yeah, it could have been F. You're right. So right now it looks like there's 20 different reports of tornadoes across the area from
That's
viewers.
amazing.
Now, they could have been looking at the same tornado.
Sure.
But what happens now is the National Weather Service will go out to these spots. They're going to take a look at the damage. They're going to take a look at the path, and they're the ones that are going to ultimately determine whether it was a 1, 2, or 3, or a 0 or whatnot. So, yeah.
These are they're more frightening than the actual hurricane, because when you think about it, we have plenty of time to prep for the hurricane, and we know what we're going to experience. Most Floridians do, but when you see a tornado, it is tough to be able to find cover and to make sure that, even the way that they come in so quickly, for a lot of people who were in the path of these storms, this could turn out to be really devastating.
Right, it's interesting. Like you said, it hasn't even made landfall yet. We're just in some of the outer rain bands. Tropical storm warnings, hurricane warnings, they've been up for a couple days. Tornado warnings, you only get maybe 10 or 20 minutes lead time, warning time. So you got to quickly find that safe room, take cover, or get out of your automobile. There's just not a lot of time to prepare for these things. And this is what they go through the Midwest. And some of that video we saw, guys, it looks like something straight out of Twister. The fatness, the wedgeness, and the power line snapping and whatnot. So yeah, I would say it's unprecedented. I know we've been here for 30 years. I've never seen so many tornado warnings in a particular day and going for as long as it was, for 9 hours. The longest I can remember is when we had Hurricane Irma going through. We were also in the northeast quadrant, and I remember we had about 4 to 5 hours of constant tornado warnings, maybe 6, but not the 9 that we had today.
All right, Michael, thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We continue our hurricane coverage with meteorologist Charlotte Carl with the damage in Wellington.
Yeah, guys, I'm out here in Wellington, just off of Flying Cow Road, and we got here pretty soon after the tornado touched down, so we're seeing very initial assessments of damage. It looks, from my point of view, like shingles are ripped off of homes, very shallow-rooted trees are uprooted, but then we also see some older trees uprooted as well. So my early assessment, I'm estimating this could be an EF2 to a low-end EF3 tornado. But when I spoke to Tom Reyes about the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue's initial assessment, this is what he had to say.
At about 5:30, shortly after 5:30 this evening, we got a call for a technical rescue at the 1600 block of Deer Path Lane off of Flying Cow Road. This is actually part of several tornadoes that have touched down in the area within the last hour. And that's sort of indicative of what happens when we have hurricanes. If you remember a few years back with Ian, we had the hurricanes hit in Delray Beach. Even when the hurricane was on the west coast, it's these outer bands, these outer rings that have the thunderstorms embedded in them that can cause this. So that's why it's very dangerous. Even though it's not pouring down the rain, it's very dangerous to be outside right now.
And from what we're looking at here, we're seeing about a quarter of a mile's worth wide of damage. So that's an additional concern as we head through the rest of Milton's impact across our area, because any debris left on the ground, if not cleaned up immediately, can be lofted into the air as a result of tropical storm force winds. So the message here is overnight, stay extra safe away from doors and windows, especially if you get another tornado warning, because outer bands will continue to push through the area.
All right, Charlotte, thank you. Our storm coverage continues now in St. Lucie County.
Yeah, let's check in now with CBS 12's Victoria DeCarnis for the very latest there. Victoria, what are you seeing?
Hi, Jim and Liz. It's been about like a half hour since we've spoken. Last we were in Fort Pierce. Now we're in Lakewood Park. We're at the Spanish Lakes Country Club Villa. This is a mobile home park that unfortunately saw a tornado through this area. As soon as we pulled in, this was the first home that we saw. We've got a lot of damage here. I've heard that some carports have been ripped off, some roofs have been ripped off of these mobile homes. Just briefly, when I was chatting with some folks who were kind of assessing the damage, that seems to be what everyone is doing. They've heard of those roofs, like I've mentioned, those carports being blown off. There's debris scattered here everywhere. We've only been here for about 5 to 10 minutes, so we haven't had a full picture of what's going on. Cars and neighbors are kind of making their way out. I don't think anybody expected this many hours of tornado warnings. I know our team didn't. And I'm sure if we did, the people here would have evacuated. Now, we got a tip from someone to come to this area, so we're going to continue to assess what's going on. As you see, we've got some cars just driving through, hopefully maybe going to get some errands done now that there's been sort of a sense of calm after these 9 hours of tornado warnings. But again, lots of damage that we've seen. We've seen some downed trees. I don't know if I see my photographers looking over at that house to his right. There's just a pile of sort of mangled mess. I'm not sure how well you're going to see it because now that it's night out, the visibility is kind of low. But we have seen some people in golf carts just kind of checking in on neighbors, seeing how everybody is doing. Just off screen here, we won't be able to see it. We see some neighbors kind of helping each other out, picking up some of the debris that was left behind from these tornadoes. There were so many today. I know all of you at home were probably freaking out, probably a little bit worried. This was a really big storm and several storms that we were going through. And the message here is that we haven't even seen Milton make landfall yet. So a lot of people are just sort of bracing for impact. Again, if you live in a vulnerable home like this community here, you can absolutely go to a shelter. There are several shelters. We've got them all listed on our website, cbs12.com. There are several that will allow you to bring your pets. It's not too late, folks. It will be a little bit too late as we go into the later hours of the evening, and that's when we are expecting Milton to make landfall. Jim, Liz?
Yeah, Victoria, we're going to run through the shelter locations here in a second, but a lot of people out there, or is it kind of,
did they evacuate? Did they evacuate?
Well, it looks like
there?
a lot of people have they're inside tonight, which is probably smart.
Yeah, so as you can see in our shot right now, we've got a lot of people just kind of driving around, and I think that's what it is, just neighbors being neighbors. They're checking on each other, seeing what's going on. We'll definitely check in with everybody here to see what their plans are this evening, if they plan on evacuating, and I think that would be the smart thing to do. I think that's what officials would tell people to do, is if you don't got to be home, especially in a vulnerable home like this, these mobile homes, don't. Just get out, go to a place that's safe. And like you said, Jim, we'll have that list of shelters and all of our viewing area on our website. We'll pop that up throughout the night. But remember, it's better to do it now than wait till later, because Milton is making landfall. We've heard Vitas and Michael, our meteorologists, say that should be around midnight, and that would be too late. You can't see. Right now, it's even a little tricky, too, because you can't see what's going on. You can't really take in that full picture. Jim?
So we could get that second wallop, within hours this evening into tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and if your house is already compromised or you're in a vulnerable home, like a mobile home, yeah, you have a couple hours now to go to a shelter. We're going to have that list of shelters right after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Let's check in with our John Evanson, who joins us live on the Treasure Coast. John, what are you seeing and where are you?
I am still in Port Salerno, and you do not have to drive very far in this neighborhood I've been in here to find more tornado damage. This tornado, maybe a couple of hours ago now, really ripped through here and did some serious damage. Roads are blocked everywhere we try to go, and we came upon this scene right here. I don't know if you could see it with the backlight, but that is not one but two cars completely flipped over. My first thought was, oh my goodness, is there somebody in that car? I wasn't sure if it was a car that was just driving down the street here when the tornado hit. Luckily, I have found out that the home there, those cars were in the driveway, and you know, the tornado doesn't care that this car is 3,000 pounds. It whipped it into the air like a toy, and that's the end result right there. A big mess to clean up. There's downed trees everywhere here. I met a family here. What are your names?
Jessica.
Patrick.
Hey guys, and what did you experience? I know you live a couple of roads over, but there are some houses on this street that are just completely decimated. What did you hear? What did you experience?
A lot of rain and loud winds, and just basically you go into almost panic mode, and you look for the safest place in your house and just hope that your house doesn't get destroyed within a matter of seconds, because we were getting alerts on our phones every 5 minutes to seek shelter. And
and of course the young ones, they always have phones on them. How scary of an experience was that for you guys? I mean, you see what this has done to your neighborhood.
Me and my dad were driving in the front neighborhood. We saw the tornado go by. So
you saw the tornado?
Yeah, it was kind of scary.
Have you ever seen a tornado before?
No, sir.
How big was it? Did you see the destruction, or did you just look at it and run the other way?
There was some roofs and trees and all that.
Yeah, you can see, actually, speaking of that, right up, we're being careful here because there's a down power line here, but right up there, you could just see like just a chunk of metal just caught onto the power line there. We're thinking there's no power in this area, so we're pretty sure that these power lines are not active right now. Thank you so much. You guys stay safe, okay? I wouldn't go surfing tonight though, all right? Yeah, just, oh, you know, sorry. I'll get the terminology right next time, but any activity like that is not advised in the conditions we're in, because we haven't even experienced Milton yet. This is just the horrible damage from the tornado. Down power lines, the house right behind here, the roof is completely ripped off. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of dark now, but the back of that house right there, my gosh, I think we're looking at inside the house right there. I think an entire wall. Just, yeah, that is this gentleman, this is the inside of the home. Are you from this neighborhood?
This is my house right here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you look like what did you experience when the storm hit?
Well, I was cooking, and next thing you know, we heard a woo. So my brother said, "Y'all get down, get down, get down, get down." So as we got down, glass was coming out like it was shooting a AK-47. You know what I'm saying? But we're glad to be alive, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Glad to be alive.
Well, you go attend to your home. Now, did you witness these cars get?
That's my mama's car right there.
That is your mother's car?
That's my mama's car. And as you can look over here.
Are these power lines?
Yeah, you good.
Okay.
As you can look over here, that's my sister's car.
Oh my gosh, okay.
That's my brother's truck,
Every one of them is damaged?
Yeah, every vehicle is damaged over here. Even my vehicle on the other side is damaged.
So did you see the tornado coming through, or were you taking shelter?
Like I said, I was inside cooking.
Yeah.
And after it hit my cousin's church, blew the roof off my cousin's church.
Yes.
It had to be like 10, 15 minutes. It flipped back around, and it came and damaged it, did its damage, it did what it did.
Can you even begin to process?
No, I can't process this here.
No.
I can't process, what I mean? I'm gonna be here trying to get it back right.
I can process the fact that I'm very thankful that you are safe.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Port Salerno, what a scary neighborhood this was to be in tonight. We are going to send it back to you guys for now.
John, it's just heart-wrenching. You've been talking to so many people out there tonight, and everybody just feels, well, they seem like they're a little bit in shock.
Yeah, I mean, earlier you saw the woman I spoke with. She was just talking to us about everything she had experienced. It was almost like I was the first person who was asking her this, and it was all coming back, and she started to cry. This is traumatic stuff that happened out here, and the more we drive around, the more we see what this neighborhood has gone through. I mean, we're closer to the car now, and you can see, I don't know if Ed can just, this car, wow. I don't know, how much does a car weigh? 3,000 pounds or something? And this thing was just like a toy. I keep saying that, but it was just whipped upside down. And there's another one there. I mean, there's a Jeep, or I think, I can't quite see, but it's a pickup truck, completely write-offs, I would have to think. So that's the type of damage a tornado can do. So next time you see a tornado warning on your phone, it tells you to seek shelter. Remember this scene, because it's serious stuff.
All right, quite a mess out there. All right, John Evanson joining us over in the Stuart area tonight. We've been telling people, to shelter in place because of these tornadoes, and now we've got Milton moving in, and it's going to have some powerful winds, lots of rain. If you are out there and you are maybe you're worried about your mobile home, or if you're in a low-lying area, there are places where you can go to seek shelter tonight. Some of them have been set up over in the Indian River County area. We're going to go through the list here.
That includes Vero Beach, Sebastian, and Fellsmere. Those are about to come up right there. And you can see the spots on this map. Treasure Coast Elementary School opened as a special needs shelter, and remember, to stay there you need to be registered. So the Freshman Learning Center in Vero Beach is pet friendly. There are 5 shelters open in Palm Beach County as of noon Wednesday. The locations stretch from Boynton Beach as far north as Palm Beach Gardens and as far west as the Belle Glade area. There's also a pet-friendly shelter in the West Boynton Recreation Center. Martin County has 4 shelters open, several in Stuart Anderson Middle School serving those with special needs, and the one at the Willoughby Learning Center is pet pet friendly.
And there's also 2 shelters set up over in Okeechobee County, a general population and a pet friendly shelter located over at South Elementary School. That's located on Southwest 7th Avenue, and a special needs shelter. You're going to need to call ahead if you want to go there, but it is located at the Department of Health. That's over on Northwest 9th Avenue. And again, you have to register ahead of time. Both those addresses we posted there on your screen. And there are also 2 shelters open in St. Lucie County, one over at Fort Pierce Westwood Academy, another at the Treasure Coast High School. Both the addresses there you see listed on the screen.
If you want a county by county list of the shelters, you can also go to our website at cbs12.com. You can find this story right on our homepage.
And again, it is not too late, I would say, to head to a shelter tonight, but things are going to change as we get closer to midnight as that storm rolls closer.
It starts to rain and we're going to get those bans. So if you want to go to a shelter, if you feel your home is compromised, now's the time to go.
We're going to have a lot more coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. We have meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg with the very latest on Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, and listen, Jim, it looks like the northern eye wall, as the 7 o'clock update, has begun to make it onto the coast near the Sarasota area and Longboat Key. There is the center, so I'm thinking landfall will be declared within the next hour or 2 on the southwest Florida coast, definitely ahead of the schedule from the last couple of days. But several days ago, we thought landfall would be 8 o'clock, so not far from that. And it's interesting to note this system is getting a lot of dry air on the southern part of the storm. It's undergoing wind shear. It has been weakening, so that is all good news for us here in South Florida. We got rid of the tornado bands. Now, we do have some rain bands that will be rotating through the area, but it looks like the tornado threat is definitely considerably less than it was earlier today. So here's the forecast track. As of the latest advisory, max winds are 120. It's down to a Category 3. It will become a Category 1. It'll be in the middle of the state by 2 o'clock, and then probably by 5 or 6 or 7, it will emerge off the coast of the Space Coast area, and probably just a tropical storm at that point as it continues to race on out into the Atlantic and then gradually weaken. So here's a look at an updated list, county by county, what we can expect. The worst weather into Thursday morning. This is Indian River County. Winds could still be 50 to 60 miles an hour late tonight into early parts of Thursday. Gusts up to 75 plus in places. Rainfall, though, we've had all the rain here. You've had 5 to 8 inches. Only an additional 1 to 2. That's it. Storm surge at 1 to 3 feet over the Indian River County coast. Okeechobee County, same kind of thing. You're under a hurricane warning. 50 to 60 mile an hour winds sustained late tonight and early tomorrow. Gusts up to 75 plus with rainfall 1 to 2. That's going to be it. And in St. Lucie County, we're looking at winds of 40 to 50 sustained. Gusts up to 60 to 65. So even though you're under hurricane warning, I don't think you're going to see hurricane winds in the St. Lucie County area, with the storm surge again minor at 1 to 3, with additional rain at 1 to 2. Martin County, haven't updated this yet. We're going to call for about another inch or so in Martin County with winds gusting over 50. Palm Beach County, probably an inch or less of additional rainfall after seeing about 1 to 3 or 4 earlier today. Winds overnight tonight and tomorrow 25 to 35 sustained with gusts still 50 to 55. So those are tropical storm force wind gusts expected across Palm Beach County. So here a look at the models here. This goes from now forward. Here's a look at the graph model showing most areas, again, under an inch, could be an inch or more, West Palm, the Boynton Beach area. But that's it. You notice, again, the heaviest rain is over with. Here's a look at our global models. This also confirms GFS model showing well under an inch. Okay, the European model showing the same thing. So the heavy rain threat, I think, is over with, and the tornado threat is way down. That is certainly good news, again, as Milton will be weakening as it moves across the state late tonight and early tomorrow morning. There is still that enhanced risk for severe storms, but again, if we don't have any rain and storms to deal with, I think that risk will come down. And then there's really little risk for tomorrow and Friday as, again, Milton will be weakening and moving over the Treasure Coast. Now, with the gusty winds, we could be looking at some isolated to scattered power outages through the night tonight. I know a lot of you are out of power already due to the tornadic risk out there. So here's a look at some power tips. If you're out of power, only operate generators outside of the building. Place generator away from the home. Don't use candles or flames. You want to stay away and report down power lines. Evacuate to a place with a backup power source and use portable chargers out there. So the big threat going forward will not necessarily be more rain and tornadoes, but the gusty winds out there. Probability of tropical storm force winds anywhere from 60 to over 90% across the CBS 12 viewing area.
All right, thanks for that, Michael. As you head further north from Palm Beach County, that's where Milton's effects are going to be a little more intense. Our Katie Benty is joining us over in Indian River County tonight. And Katie, I know earlier you were over at the post office, showed us an overturned mail truck, and I'm assuming you're seeing even more damage now.
You know, actually, we are now a block over from all of that tornado damage, still just a little south of the Vero Beach Regional Airport. But what I want to show you over here is flooding. This area has seen so much rain and already saturated roads. And actually, we've kind of been seeing this go down the last 10 minutes, but you can see there's already one car stalled out there. We've been seeing some trucks just run through. It really looks like a lake over there. And this is not the first car we've seen stall out today. We've seen several other sedans actually just stall out in the middle of roadways, and it's been incredibly dangerous. But I mean, if this was going to be some sort of lake, it'd probably be in a no-wake zone, but these people have been just ripping through the waters, and not every car can handle that. More than just that, though, emergency officials are worried that this is not just water here. There's falling debris. I mean, we just saw that tornado damage. Metal is lying on the ground. There's a lot of cars that cannot make it through these sort of roads. And I want to show you, now we have a big truck coming by. I want to show you how a big truck could, like, rim through this. And even he is slowing down. I'm glad. Feels so bad. That gentleman over there had just gotten done asking us, the one who just has his brake lights on, he had just got done asking us if he should try it out. I told him he should probably turn around, but I guess he really wanted to make it through here. He seems to be doing okay. I'm not sure how long it takes for people to be able to get out of these roadways, especially because we haven't seen any tow trucks. And even we saw a police officer try to help one of the other people who stalled out earlier, and they weren't able to do anything. They actually left their car there. But obviously, this is just one of those things. If you can stay inside, if you don't need to be going somewhere, it's best to stay inside. That's probably the safest way to go about this while the storm moves through. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Katie, you know what? As the night progresses, you're going to see some winds picking up, things like that. What are the conditions outside? I saw a little bit of a breeze out there.
You know, it is a little breezy right now, which I'm a little more thankful for than it was earlier. We were dealing with some torrential downpours. I mean, when my photographer and I, when we were driving around, we couldn't even really see what was in front of us. We actually had to pull over at one point because it was just storming. Right now, it's a little breezy, nothing too crazy, nothing too notable. I mean, nothing like those tornadoes whipping through. We didn't even notice. It was really the other people in the area, the community that was telling us about it, that they heard all the freight train noises, just that scary sound. Honestly, it's just absolutely terrifying when a tornado moves past. Of course, we weren't able to see that. All we saw was the damage, and I'm not entirely sure how we missed it, but hopefully we don't have to deal with that later on tonight.
All right, our Katie Benty joining us up in the Vero Beach area. Sounds like they got a lot of rain in a very short amount of time, and that has led to some street flooding. So obviously, stay indoors if you don't need to head out. Tornado spotted off of North River shores. We're going to show you that video when we come back. Stay with us. Well, we wanted to show you some more pictures right now. This is a tornado that had been spotted just off of North River Shores in the Stuart area. We've been taking you to the scene of some of the damaged areas in Stuart earlier tonight, and it's significant. There were some homes that were looked like they had some major roof damage, cars flipped over, as John Evanson told us, like toys. A lot of people there still in disbelief tonight. Also, video out of Jupiter County. This is or Jupiter Country Club, I should say. This was taken by a viewer around 7 or 5:30 earlier tonight, and you can see some of those ominous clouds, and I'm assuming that just over those trees is where that twister had possibly formed. All of these unconfirmed, but when you look at those, it's hard to deny, especially on the ground. This is over in the Avenir area. This is actually Palm Beach Gardens. This is in the western Palm Beach County area. The damage to this brand new subdivision is significant. You could see the gate from the one of the guardhouses there just ripped off, damage to the cars that were in the parking lots, the roofs torn off, all brand new homes that look tonight like they are going to need major renovations when they are done, when it's all said and done. We're also told that the power in that area is still out. So a lot of those people, not only can they not live in those homes, but the people who had no damage, well, they're in the dark tonight. As we mentioned, we're seeing a lot of tornadoes popping up in the area. This is Martin County Sheriff's Office. They posted this photo of a reported tornado over on I-95 that caused a semi-truck to flip over. So you can imagine if you're on I-95, there were just, the highway had been littered tonight with scenes like this. Sheriff's Office says there was no reported injuries, and they are reminding people to stay off the roads tonight, at least until Milton passes sometime through the evening. We're going to have much more coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Liz Quirantes.
And I'm Jim Grimes. We're continuing our coverage of Hurricane Milton's impacts here in South Florida. Despite the storm hours away still from making landfall just off the Gulf Coast, we're facing dangerous tornado outbreak in our area.
We have a team of reporters spread out across our area bringing us the latest updates from county officials and a look at conditions outside.
And we also have a team of meteorologists who are standing by, keeping a close eye on the massive storm and to keep you and your family safe.
Let's begin with Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed, who is standing by for us. Vitas?
Continuing to track Hurricane Milton. It was mainly tornado warnings for us earlier today with those rain bands that just caused so much damage over the Treasure Coast in Palm Beach County. We had multiple, just unprecedented amount of tornado warnings today. It's going to possibly be looking back on some records here and also damage. So still folks are cleaning up, still trying to deal with that. Power lines down, lots of trees down, houses and homes damaged, cars tossed around. And, you know, we're still getting a lot of information coming in. So bear with us as we get more information and data coming in with how it's affected you. But we still have a lot to go. We're still looking at the tropical satellite. This is Hurricane Milton, 8 o'clock update, moving east-northeast at 15. Still winds measuring at 120, gusting to 150. And up here on the northern core of this is where it's going to be the strongest winds as it makes that landfall somewhere south of Sarasota, maybe Venice. That might be the landfall point. They give usually a location, but we're going to watch that closely. And it's sped up a little bit, so it may kind of get through here a little faster than expected, which is good news. But we could have a landfall within the next hour here. So we're looking at this coming on shore as a Category 3 hurricane, looking at those winds dying down relatively quickly as far as the forecast, down to about a 1, and that's still sitting west of, like, the south and west of Ocala, Sebring, those areas. But it looks like what we're going to continue to see that track across the state, exiting near the Space Coast and becoming a tropical storm. Now, as it loses its intensity, it still has that wind field beyond these lines that will have some effects, especially towards the northern counties in our viewing area. So we're talking about excuse me, up near Indian River, also up there towards St. Lucie County and Okeechobee County. So those counties are under hurricane warnings because they're a little closer to the center of circulation. So we can see the model runs here showing that the potential for that landfall getting very close there to the coast south of Tampa. Now, Tampa may have been spared from the storm surge. They'll get some, but not the direct southern side of this storm, which will have the higher storm surge. Fort Myers will possibly be seeing more of that. We're looking at Tampa getting that water pulling out of the bay there. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I got a frog in my throat. But it looks like we'll continue to see this circulation out there, and as we do so, we're going to see it make its landfall. As it does so, we still have a few outer bands there, drawing in a little bit of the drier air on the back edge of that, and it looks like we'll continue to see the back edge of that bringing in some breaks from the precipitation. The storm will start to die down, but we still have some effects across the northern tier of our viewing area up there around St. Lucie County, Indian River, and Okeechobee County. As we get into the morning, it looks like this could be off the coast by 10 a.m., but we still have those residual winds out of the north, a little bit less intense, but we'll still see drier air moving in on the back edge of this, probably less humid, and it'll probably, the sun may even come out at times with broken clouds, but still maybe a trailing shower or two even for tomorrow along the coast, but that's good news. Now, as far as what we're seeing here with the warnings, we're looking at hurricane warning still in place for St. Lucie County, Indian River County, and Okeechobee County. You get around Martin County, areas south, we're looking at tropical storm warnings, and that's because of those winds that are going to be out there. And tropical storm force winds are anywhere from 40 up to about 50 miles per hour, but the gusts are where we could see them being a little more of a punch. And the ground is saturated, still could take some tree limbs down, power lines down, a little better, greater chance up here in these counties where everyone should have put up their storm shutters, but still they're dealing with a lot of the tornado damage all across these areas that we had those tornadoes touching down. So we have to deal with that as well. So here we look at the wind potential. We're looking at the 98% chance for seeing those winds up there around those counties as the storm continues to move through. We'll see those winds picking up. It is right now showing about wind gusts around overnight, but the storm will probably pull through them a little bit faster, and it'll be a noisy night out there. Flood watches have been allowed to be expired around Palm Beach County, not expecting too much more of the heavy rain. Still some showers that could occur up here, and there was a lot of flooding that already occurred in these areas. So real quick look, the eye will probably be coming on here relatively soon, and you see the high wind warnings up here. excessive. Extreme wind warnings aren't issued all the time. Last time we saw this issue was with Helene, but nonetheless, this is going to be an extreme wind warning for up there around Hillsborough County as they continue to see those strong winds as the eye makes that landfall. I think it'll be centered somewhere over Venice or Inglewood. That might be the actual eye landfall. We'll see if that, but it's actually occurring and looking like at this time. So we'll continue to track this move across the state. We'll have a few more feeder bands and we start to see more breaks and clearing out there, which is good news. More on this and the effects of the tornado damage coming up.
All right, Vita, so here comes Milton. All right, we're taking a look at more video that's been sent into our newsroom. This is from a viewer over in the St. Lucie County area, and you can just see how well-defined this tornado is as it marches over what looks like State Road 80. Just a frightening scene. You can only imagine what the drivers on the roadway were thinking at that time.
All right, let's check in with our Victoria DeCardenas. She joins us live tonight in Port St. Lucie. Victoria?
Yeah, hi, Jim and Liz. We're still at the Spanish Lakes Country Club Village. We told you that we heard that a roof was blown off. We found that home and we found the owner of that home. That's Mary right here. She just was kind of assessing the area. And Mary, quite a scene you got here. Can you tell me about what were you doing, what was happening, what you heard?
So I just gotten home from work. I work for Teleperformance. I just want to say Teleperformance has been amazing to me because they're all reaching out to me. I was about to walk onto that back porch, and my husband pulled me out and said, "There's a tornado coming," and he threw me on the couch, and it just came.
Wow!
I was inches away from being sucked out by a tornado. It was crazy.
What was the conditions like, and what were you hearing at that time?
It was raining, and we had the shutters down, so I couldn't see anything. But it was raining, and then all of a sudden, I just like, oh, let me go outside and go look. And then all of a sudden, it just happened.
Yeah, some people have described that sound as sort of that classic freight train sound. Did you even get to hear that?
No, the only thing I saw was like just white all around us, and just you could feel like the suction of the tornado.
Yeah, and so describe to me what we're seeing back here. This is the back of your house?
No, this is my side porch.
Okay.
There's no roof. There's no back to my house. The neighbor behind us lost everything. I don't even know where my roof is. It's someplace in this community somewhere.
I think it might be over there. I'm going to have our photographer pan over to it.
That one's brown. Mine's gray.
Yours is gray. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's somebody else's roof. So
Yeah.
somebody else is probably in the same position as you today.
Yeah, the guy behind us that way, Dale. Yeah.
Yeah, and how long have you been living here, Mary?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years. And now after seeing what's going on, or what has gone on today, do you have any regrets of staying, or what are your plans for tonight?
My plans are my mom lives a block over. I have no regrets. It's, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so what's next for you?
Rebuild?
Yeah.
What else can I do?
Yeah, and I see your neighbors have been sort of helping you out. I saw them walking your dogs. Luckily, you're okay. That's the good news tonight.
If it was not for my husband who doesn't want to be on camera, I would not have been, because I would have been sucked into that tornado. Scary.
Yeah, scary. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate you chatting with us, and I'm glad you're safe tonight.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you, Teleperformance. I love you guys. You've all reached out to me. You guys are awesome.
All right, thank you, Mary. And now, for some people who are looking to find another place to stay, there are shelters in the area in St. Lucie County. There are 3 so far. 2 of them are for general population. The other is for those with special needs. We have a list on our website, but I'll tell you those now. For those with special needs, that's the Fenn Center in Fort Pierce. And for the general population, those that are pet friendly, you've got Treasure Coast High School and Fort Pierce Westwood High School. You can do that now if you want to escape the storm that's coming on later tonight. You can leave now. There's still plenty of time. Don't wait until it's too late. Jim, Liz?
Victoria, the good news is our meteorologists are saying that we're not going to get that much more rain. Like, the worst is past us now. So that's the good news. But of course, if you feel like you're going to have you have extensive damage in your home and don't feel safe, obviously it's better
like
to
this
go.
woman here.
Yeah, like to go to a shelter. Victoria, can you tell how many houses were damaged in that area where you are?
You know, Liz, that's the funny thing about tornadoes is when they have this sort of path of destruction, your neighbor across the street can have absolutely no damage, and then your house can look something like this one. So far, I've only been able to count maybe like less than 10, because that is the exact situation. The entrance to this area there are several homes that have been either destroyed or their pieces of their homes have flown off. But just right across the street, I'm looking at a house right now. It looks totally fine. So it's a little bit harder, especially at night, since we don't have that visibility. But I'm sure that a lot of our people in our viewing area are seeing that exact same thing. We've had even some people in our newsroom. I know you were talking about a tornado passing through your home. You're fine, but you don't know where how your neighbors are faring. And it's a little hard to do that right now, like I mentioned, because it is nighttime. The visibility is a lot lower.
Joining us live tonight over in Port St. Lucie. All right, we'll check in with you in a little bit. Let's head out to Wellington now. We're going to show you some video. This is of this was the scene a little bit earlier tonight. You can see the damage over in this particular subdivision. It's called Binks Forest. This is in the Wellington Village, and we understand that tornado touched down not too far over by Lion Country Safari, if this was the same storm that blew past this area.
Our Luli Ortiz is standing by live in that area in Binks Preserve. And Luli, I know it's dark out, but what can you see and what can you tell us about the damage there?
Yes, Liz and Jim, you know, you're talking about some of the videos of the damage that is coming out of here from the village of Wellington, but being here and just seeing it with my own eyes just really takes your breath away. Now, we are along Cypress Green Preserve. This is in the preserve area, very close to Binks Forest Drive. And I want to show you this house right here. As my photographer, Max, gets closer to the front of this door, you could see this car on its side, right in front of this home. Just the trees just keeping it here on its side. And these columns is what's keeping it up here. And thankfully, those columns are there, because if not, that car could have just hit the front of this home. Now, this is just one of the many houses damaged here. Neighborhood where we're at in Wellington. Now, I know Victoria talked about in Port St. Lucie, you know, one house is damaged and maybe the one next door isn't damaged, but right here, it's like every single house sustained some sort of damage. Now, this is the home next door, and this is the garage. Max, I kind of want to just walk to the front here of this home so you can see there are at least 3 garage doors that one of them, this is the only one that's left. Now we want to just pan a little bit to the left, and you could just see all those damage. And this is a 2nd-story home. So if you look up, you could just see those windows are completely damaged. Max, if you could just focus to the one to the left of that. All the windows are completely broken here. There's the car inside that garage that is completely damaged. And when we arrived here, Liz and Jim, we saw deputies with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office just speaking to many of the homeowners here, just asking them questions. So far, we are not getting any reports of injuries, but the damage is just really unbelievable when you're here. And I just kind of want to go towards the sidewalk here where the deputies are just kind of going door to door. These are just all the trees that came down, pieces of it. It's really hard to see at night, but the damage just expands throughout this entire block. The sidewalks, just pieces of the trees completely covering it. You have some neighbors here and drivers just trying to drive by, asking their neighbors if they need any help with the cleanup. I want to walk a little bit more towards the end of this block, Max. Just be careful, because these are very thick wood and pieces of the trees that are on the ground here, so it's really easy to slip. I kind of want to walk a little forward. So we spoke to the neighbors here. It looks like they just left. But 2 people were inside this home, the one very close to where the car ended up, and that one house. We are walking to the right of this, and luckily they have the shutters up, but that wasn't the case when the tornado came through here. That's what's scary. They have these shutters up now because they don't have windows. So they also, I almost tripped here. See, this is just how dark it is. There's absolutely no electricity here, so it's very easy to trip over. So yes, his family just left, but I spoke to the 17-year-old son who drove here to check up on his parents. He said that his mom and dad were home at the time. Thankfully, they are okay. But he told me that the front door completely came off. So now they put it back. They have this piece of wood there, just kind of cleaning up the damage. And that's what everyone everyone's doing here in this neighborhood in the preserve here in Wellington, just cleaning up the mess. I'm sure this expands beyond this entire block and other blocks from where I am right now, but what it looks like is just everyone is just trying to clean up as much as they can after these tornadoes.
All right, our Lily Ortiz joining us from Wellington tonight. Wow, it is quite a scene just about everywhere across the area. There was a tornado that they believe touched down that crossed paths with went near the Lion Country Safari area over near the Aero Club.
It's
so
going to
we'll
look
be
worse
checking out that damage
in the morning.
Yeah,
when we can really see it. All right, let's go over now to our Katie Benty. She is joining us live in Vero Beach with a look at damage there. Katie.
Yeah, you know, we went from what seems to be tornado damage to flooding, and we are back to more what seems to be tornado damage. Let me show you right here. This is my first time I'm actually getting this close to this building, but it seems that something just came and just destroyed this entire building. I believe it is a hurricane impact window shop or a hardware shop of some sort. I mean, it just looks like something came and ripped out everything. I'm actually trying to be careful with my step. It seems that there are some down power lines I could see kind of laying around, and I've been stepping on glass. I'm hoping my rain boots are durable enough for this. But I mean, just look at this. I mean, whatever came through here was extremely strong. And this is not the only sort of damage we're seeing on this road. It's like this just seems to have gotten the brunt of it. But it is something that I want to say the businesses next to it, it seems untouched, which I guess is just one of those things with these sort of storms. Some businesses are going to withstand it and others are going to get that sort of direct hit. I actually spoke with that business owner over there. He owns the Octopus Furniture and Art Store, and he's actually out here just cleaning up other people's debris. He said that he hasn't had any issues with his building, which is surprising because from the looks of this, I mean, I'm not sure if you're able to like zoom in how much you can really see. I'm actually going to stand back. I'm a little nervous hearing it get some wind here. That is something else that I've been a little worried about. We are kind of feeling the wind pick up again, but no rain. Oh, looks like we're hearing some stuff over here. I don't want to even get too close. Some cars are finally starting to get through here. I actually haven't seen anyone try to use this road all night, but it looks like a caravan of cars are coming through here, and right across from them, it looks like another building over there is completely ripped out. Hey guys. So we're just kind of keeping eyes high. Probably not the best thing to be driving around right now, but we have been seeing some people out here, business owners, checking in on things. Actually, the business owner right there, again at the Octopus, his name is Michael. He was telling me that he was stationed out at one of his friends' businesses when they heard what sounded like that freight train noise coming through once again. And he's actually just glad that his roof is still on, which I think will be kind of the thing that we're going to hear tonight, especially with something this damaging coming through here. I mean, it's not just trees, it's clearly concrete buildings. Back to you guys for right now.
All right, thank you so much, Katie Benty. The good news is I guess those weren't homes, they were businesses, which means they were closed and people weren't in there.
Yeah, as the sun comes up, by the way, I think we're going to see even more damage. Okay, we're going to take you live now to Tampa. This is the view right now, and you can see the rain has come. Milton is there. This is the University of Tampa campus, and I'm assuming that nobody is outside at this hour.
No, they should not be. Let's bring in meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg with a look at Milton and what's happening right now. Michael.
Yeah, that's right, Liz. Yeah, about more than tornado damage. The National Weather Service will be going out once the sun comes up and things clear out and looking at the tornado damage across the area.
Okay, and And I'll just continue on here for a minute. We can open my mic. We're adjusting the, we've been going all day, so Michael's just reloading batteries here. Michael, you all set?
I think the batteries are good.
All right,
I think
we're
back.
good.
All
Okay,
right.
we're back.
Sorry, I changed the batteries in our microphones. But anyway, Weather Service is going to go out. They're going to assess the damage, and they're going to look at the damage and figure out whether it's light, moderate, considerable, or severe. And looking at some of the videos we've seen, looking at Katie Bente's damage near her, I would say it's going to be either an EF2 or EF3. And EF3 is winds 136 to 165 miles an hour. We don't often get EF3s here in South Florida. All right, regarding Milton, Milton's eye wall has made it on shore, and at any point now, the Hurricane Center is going to declare landfall. As you can see, probably the center of the eye right there near Sarasota and over Longboat Key. You notice it's very lopsided. There's been dry air that's been circulating in from the south. So the heaviest of the rain, I think, is over with. That's off to the north of the storm center. We will be looking at more rain bands coming. Some will form overnight as it moves on shore. But again, the heaviest rain is over with. And there's that track by 2 o'clock in the morning. It'll be well east of Tampa in the central part of the state, having weakened to a Category 1 from the current Category 3 status at 120 miles an hour. And then it moves offshore, probably near Cape Canaveral, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then it's well off the coast by Thursday afternoon as a weakening tropical storm. So there's a look at the storm track radar right now. A lot of clouds. And again, we do see some quick showers and bands kind of just reforming right over eastern Palm Beach County, Delray to the West Palm Beach vicinity. Looks like the Treasure Coast right now is quiet out there, but boy, you've had a lot of rainfall today. Flood advisory was in effect, a flash flood warning actually, anywhere from 6 to 9 inches of rain across parts of Indian River County during the afternoon, along with all those tornadoes. About 4 to 5 inches in St. Lucie County. Martin County rain totals as high as 4 to 5 west of Stewart. In Palm Beach County, rain totals anywhere from as little as a ½ inch in West Palm to nothing in South County, to about 1 to 3 across the northern sections of the county. And here's a look at the hour by hour. This is 9 o'clock tonight. We see the system having made landfall again just east of Sarasota at that point. And again, notice all the heavy rain to the north. But we do see some more bands rotating through. There comes one after 10, 11, 12. So there's some small possibility of another tornado warning coming up. We'll keep you posted on that. There's a look at midnight, and there's a storm east of Tampa. There's a look at 3 o'clock in the morning. The storm is about ready to move offshore, again, in the Melbourne or Space Coast area. 5 a.m., some more rain bands coming through, but a lot weaker at that point, because remember, at this point, as it moves off the coast, it will be either a Category 1 or a tropical storm. And then by 8 o'clock in the morning, we notice the only rain left from basically Cape Canaveral north. And tomorrow, we're going to be seeing little if any rain. In fact, the sun will probably come out with a gusty wind shifting from southwest to west to northwest. New updated computer model forecast, IBM graph model. Take a look. Additional rain, possibly more than an inch for parts of the area. Most areas well under an inch. As far as the winds, well, they've definitely been picking up. If you've been outdoors, West Palm Beach in the last hour, we've had a sustained 24 gusting to 40 mile an hour wind gust, 34 mile an hour gust in Boynton, and sustained 25 gusting to 38 in Vero. So that 40 is a tropical storm force wind gust in the West Palm Beach area. And overnight tonight, winds will be picking up 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, 50 to 55 mile an hour gusts for Pierce, Vero, Okeechobee. 40s, the Gardens down to Boca, so pretty windy. And even mid-morning tomorrow, 50 to 60 along the Treasure Coast. And then by 1:30, this could be the highest winds. Remember, this storm is going to be offshore, but at 1:30 in the afternoon, 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts throughout the area. That can blow some trees down and cause some more power outages if you haven't had them already. And then winds will still be breezy tomorrow evening, but begin to come down, and a westerly wind again is going to dry it out. Tornado watch still in effect for the Treasure Coast. It's been lifted for Palm Beach County, but this is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. We'll see whether or not it's extended. Probably not. We'll see. Here's a look at the high-res wind gust forecast. And again, the purple are those hurricane force winds, perhaps touching the northern part of the Treasure Coast, with, again, the winds still rather high even on into tomorrow afternoon. So the tropical storm force wind probability late tonight and tomorrow, over 90% for Pierce, Okeechobee, and still 60 to 75% for Palm Beach County. And as far as the earliest arrival of tropical storm force winds, well, again, they will be coming in within the next few hours. Again, we've already seen gusts of that in parts of the area. Hurricane wind probability, very low, less than 10% up there along the Treasure Coast. The big issue when it makes landfall is the storm surge. The peak storm surge still expected to be 10 to 15 feet right near where it makes landfall or just to the south. So that's mostly Sarasota, Longboat Key South. Tampa Bay right now probably in the 4 to 7 foot storm surge range. So they've been spared a direct hit again. Because they will be north of the eye. And even on our coast, 1 to 3 foot storm surge for the Treasure Coast, and then 2 to 4 foot storm surge as you head north towards Daytona Beach, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. Storm surge warning in effect for the entire west coast, south to mainland Monroe County, and figure from about Cape Canaveral north up there towards Jacksonville and even southeastern sections of Georgia. So here's a look at a statewide map of rainfall to come. And as you'll notice here, either less than an inch or 1 to 2 for our area. And again, along and north of where the path makes landfall in those purple and magenta colors could be anywhere from 7 to 15 inches. That's European model. And GFS or American model showing, again, not a whole lot of extra rain down here, less than 1 inch. And again, there's where the track is along and north of the landfall. GFS model showing, again, in the magentas and pinks, 5 to about 10 inches of rainfall there. So there again is a storm track radar tonight. We are looking at numerous flood advisories up there along the Treasure Coast, and they're going to be getting what we were getting this afternoon. There will probably be some tornado warnings up here. And then again, the sharp cutoff of rain to the south, but still some rain bands will be rotating in. This band here, you'll notice, kind of seem to be weakening, but others will come in. Again, the short-range models that I showed you did show the potential for more rain bands persisting. So county by county, here's a look at local impacts. Indian River County, peak winds will be 50 to 60 miles an hour with gusts possibly 75 plus, but more like 60 to 70, it looks like. Additional rain, 1 to 2 inches max, a 1 to 3 foot storm surge for you. In Okeechobee County, winds 50 to 60 miles an hour with gusts 75 plus. But again, looking at the latest model output, thinking more like 60 to 70 in gusts. And rainfall no more than 1 to 2. So the 1 to 2 is really a max. A lot of us will get less than an inch additional rainfall. For those of you in St. Lucie County, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, gusting 60 to 65 plus. And again, the highest winds, according to our models, will be sometime tomorrow. Could be in the early afternoon, again, after Milton's moved offshore. Rainfall 1 to 2 inches, a storm surge of 1 to 3 feet. Martin County, winds 30 to 40 miles an hour, gusts 50 plus. Rainfall, again, max 1 to 2, storm surge 1 to 3. And not much storm surge in Palm Beach County with rainfall an additional 1 to 2 with gusts up to 50 to 55 miles per hour. More weather coming up. Back to you guys.
All right, Michael, thank you. A countywide curfew is going into effect in Martin County starting in about half an hour at 9 p.m. Sheriff William Snyder putting out this update on social media saying the curfew is because of the, quote, significant damage they say was caused by tornadoes and what could potentially come overnight. This curfew will last until 6 a.m. Again, this is countywide in Martin County. Welcome back, everyone. We want to head back out to Wellington and our Luli Ortiz. She is still in the Binks Preserve and is speaking live now with someone who witnessed and lived through that tornado. Luli?
Yeah, that's right, Liz. And just for perspective, for those who are not familiar with this area, this is very close to Lion Country Safari. So for a couple of minutes now, I've been speaking with Josh. Now, he lives in one of these homes that sustained a lot of that damage. And moments ago, we showed you all those trees that are down. One car was even flipped right in front of a home. But Josh here joining us now. Thank you so much. Just talk to us about your experience.
Honestly, the best way to put it was just horrific, traumatizing. Definitely the most scariest experience I've ever had in my life. But very grateful to be out of it alive and unscathed. So
exactly, we were just talking about that, and it is amazing that you're uninjured. And just talk to us a little bit about that moment that tornado was coming through. You were inside. Who else was inside with you?
my mother and my small dog were both inside. I was out back trying to close the shutters. I had just got the warning on my phone of a tornado in the area, and then a couple seconds after, my friend called me and told me he knew it was in Binks, so he called me and I ran inside real quick, didn't finish the shutters, and we just tried running from room to room to stay safe and stay away from all the wind and damage. So.
And this happened just a couple of hours ago. We do want to show you some of the damage to his backyard, and as we walk towards his backyard here, just talk to us about it's like neighbors helping neighbors here, right? Talk to us about how everybody's just trying to help and clean up the streets. You said that all this was blocked.
Yeah, so the whole street was completely barricaded in from all the trees flown everywhere. Some of the neighbors' driveways had all these branches flown onto their cars. Everybody's back patio is almost ruined. Ours is destroyed.
And just be careful. Yes, absolutely. There's tiles, there's just pieces of trees and everything just all scattered throughout here. So Josh, just show us a little bit of the damage.
Yes, so unfortunately, no more back patio as of now. All the screens, the barricades, the ceiling fan with the lights all came off. I didn't have these shutters up at the time, so the screens behind those came down. Thankfully, no broken glass for us. But I know some neighbors were unfortunate with their garages and whatnot. But thankfully, we all came together and helped everybody out and able to make it, a better scene. So.
Right. And Josh, you were telling me some of your neighbors had to evacuate. Is that correct?
Yes. So a few of the immediate ones next to me, because of how much debris and the damage done to their front and the garage and whatnot, they were forced to evacuate. Thankfully, they gave myself and one neighbor next to me the option to stay if we got to finish the shutters and clean up. So.
And you've been living in Palm Beach County for quite some time, but what's unique about this whole situation, Josh, you just moved to this neighborhood.
2 weeks ago, so welcome.
Wow, incredible. Again, I'm so grateful that you're okay. It's great to hear that no one was seriously injured from what you know, from what we're trying to gather, just more information about possible injuries here. But this place, it is a mess. A lot of these homes and just around the block here are without power. So it's very difficult to see the extent of the damage here. But I'm just so grateful you and your family are okay. And thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. We appreciate that. And we'll send it back to you, Liz and Jem.
All right, Luli, thank you. Here is footage from the residential neighborhood Avenir, that is Western Palm Beach Gardens off North Lake Boulevard. And you can see there's downed trees. I know our family lives there, and I know that tornado went through the La Terre neighborhood. It also went through the Regency neighborhood, the 55 plus. So a lot of damage there. We'll see more in the sunlight.
And tornado also spotted off of North River Shores. It's hard to keep track of all of these. This is over in the stored area, and we were on the ground earlier tonight. We showed you some of the damage that was possibly caused by this very tornado. Broward County Sheriff's Office, by the way, posting this photo earlier as well. They reported a tornado over on I-95 caused the semi-truck to overturn. This was quite a mess, but we understand that there were no injuries reported, but just a reminder to stay off the roads this evening because it's just going to get even worse. Broward County Sheriff's Office also sharing a photo of some damage of a burning tree. This is Burning Tree Circle. That's the name of the street there over Mariner Sands community. I mean, that's just remarkable. Those are those homes are going to have to be leveled or rebuilt. I mean, that's just quite a mess.
Bad damage. We want to take it over now to Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed. I think he has some breaking news on the hurricane. It's made landfall, Vitas?
Yeah, it's officially made landfall now. So Hurricane Milton, we were thinking it would speed up a little bit. Previous landfall timelines were like around 11 midnight, but it sped up a little bit, and which is good news to get it across the state. But it made landfall at 8:30 p.m. 5 miles west of Sarasota, and it looks like those winds were 120 miles as far as per hour, and it was a Category 3 hurricane with central pressure at 954 millibars. So we have an official landfall with Hurricane Milton on the western portion of the state, just south of the Tampa Bay area, near Cedar or near Sarasota, and you can see that it's going to continue to make that landfall as the center of circulation. They usually take it based on the center of the eye where it comes on shore, and that's what it looks like it has done. So we do have that official landfall for Hurricane Milton at 8:30 p.m., 5 miles west of Sarasota, 120 mile an hour winds, a Category 3 hurricane with a central pressure 954. So we'll continue to track this, making it landfall, pushing it in. We'll continue to see those winds relatively strong at the coast, but as it makes its way in, it will start to lose some intensity, and the forecast is to start tearing down, running into the shear, dragging in much more drier air on the southern half of this, south of Fort Myers and Naples, down towards Marco Island. But we'll continue to see more rain and wind building up, especially on the north side of the storm. As we track it with the latest guidance from 8:30 p.m., you can see it becoming a Cat 1 relatively quickly, which is good news. So once it gets on shore, we're going to continue to see it tear down. But remember, the wind field is beyond these white lines, and that's why we still have hurricane force winds gusting up towards the Treasure Coast, up towards Indian River County, as well as St. Lucie County and Okeechobee County. These are the areas that could have a little more of the impact with the winds, but as you get further south and farther away from the circulation and the wind field, you start seeing the winds diminish a bit. But it looks like as it comes on shore, it's going to track across the central portion of the state as we get towards about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, this model run is going to try to take into account the speeding up of this, exiting somewhere over near Melbourne. As that continues to move out 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, this is going to continue to be a little bit of a noisy night. Just know it'll be a windy, noisy night for that storm to exit. Once it does, it'll be a tropical storm strength. It'll lose Category 1 to tropical storm strength. We still have those winds coming out of the northwest. A little more drier, refreshing air, and we may get some breaks in the clouds, a little more sun tomorrow afternoon, evening. Still some rain bands possible late. So once again, we're looking at hurricane warning still in effect for Indian River, Okeechobee County, as well as St. Lucie County, and that's because you're going to get those winds a little bit sustained, but the gusts will be at hurricane strength. So you might see those 75 to 85 mile an hour wind gusts, and then a gust, and then a sustained wind that's blowing at about 50 to 55, but then a gust again. But as you get further away from the center of circulation, those winds aren't going to be as strong, but they'll still have a nice little punch out there. Already breezy out there, and any loose things could blow around a little bit. So 90% chance for the winds to see those tropical storm force winds, but a low potential for a hurricane force. It's going to be as far as wind gusts, not sustained winds. So we will see those tropical storm force winds up to the north as that storm goes to the north of us. So we're looking at winds, tropical storm force winds are 39 to 45 to 50 mile per hour, gusting up to maybe about 60, 65. We get those with daily thunderstorms that we can see down here, but nonetheless, you can see those winds will be gusting a little bit as we go through the overnight. And then as we go in through the overnight, still some more rain expected up in these areas. Palm Beach County dropped the flood watch, but it looks like in Martin County North, still under that, they got some flooding rain, especially up around Vero Beach, 6 to 7 inches in a short period of time. And that's going to take a long time to kind of drain off, especially with all the previous rain events that we had, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches over the last couple of days. So once again, another look at that, making that eyewall landfall near Sarasota. And it looks like we're seeing the stream winds on the north end of that, where they have an extreme wind warning for Tampa. So there might be more wind damage in those areas in the metropolitan area, Clearwater, over towards Tampa Bay. And it looks like what we're seeing here is that making that landfall. There's Sarasota there, so we'll continue to see that make its way inland. And as it does so, hour by hour, showing those rain bands potentially a few more late overnight. but then it looks like we're getting more clearing, and most of the rain and the heaviest rain's on the north side of the storm. So we'll start to clear things out as we go through the morning, afternoon. Maybe still a few on the back edge of that storm, but we'll continue to get more dry conditions, more sunshine in the forecast as we go down the road. Rainfall still to come. Well, it's going to be very little here. I think if anything, it's going to be up towards the north, and really the heaviest rain is on the north side of the storm. So impacts, once again, we're looking at winds sustained anywhere from about 50 to 60 miles per hour, gusting 75 plus up around Indian River County. So that will have some impact potentially, and we already dealt with the tornadoes, so that could be an issue. But then when we go through Okeechobee County, winds 50 to 60, gusting to 75 plus. That means the gust, when those rain bands may push through, you get a little push, a little gust, but the sustained winds are 50 to 60. And then as we go through a little further south down through St. Lucie County, winds are a little less, about 40 to 50, gusting 60 to 65. And then we get Martin County, we're looking at those winds 30 to 40, sustained. That means just continuous blowing winds. And then you get a little gust of about 50, a little punch of wind. And then it looks like in Palm Beach County, we're looking at those winds 25 to 35, gusting to 50 to 55 miles per hour. So there will be those wind gusts, and it looks like we'll see a noisy night. But remember, severe thunderstorms we get generally will have those winds. So what we see, we haven't talked about the 10-day. As we go through the storm going overnight, what we'll continue to see is some clearing for tomorrow morning. It still will be breezy out there as we're seeing that storm exit the area early morning, and then we're going to get better conditions improving throughout the day on Thursday. Still breezy, but then winds start dying down in Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. We're looking at drier conditions, a little more sunshine, a little respite, but also our temperatures will be a little cooler because of that north flow. The temperatures will feel good for folks who have to get out and do cleanup and kind of do those assessments from damage. So we're going to have a little bit of a respite from the heat and humidity for the next few days from the severe storms that we had in the tornadic activity. So once again, we've already had the landfall at 8:30 this evening over near Sarasota as the landfall location. I'll have more on the storm along with meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg coming up.
All right, thanks, Vitas. Well, our John Evanson is joining us tonight from Martin County. He's been kind of cruising the streets out there. He has seen some things, I could say.
He went from Port Salerno, now he's in Palm City. John?
That's right. I am at Midnight Farms Country Store, where it is an absolute mess here. Way over there, you can see the building. The fence is completely damaged and a lot of the front there. But over here, the gas station portion absolutely is just trashed. A tornado, I'm told, came across the thruway. Some witnesses who did not want to appear on camera told me this. Across the thruway, and just ripped down this way through the gas station and the Country Farm store here, and debris from the roof actually flew back into their yards at the apartment complex back there, and you could just see how much of a force this tornado had. This is a heavy wooden shed. This isn't like a little thin little tinderbox shed. This is heavy wood. You can see there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, like a door with like an address on it, and it must have been some type of storage shed. It's just completely mangled, and that back there is the canopy for that was covering these gas pumps here, and it just got ripped back there. Like you can see on the other side, it says Exxon. So this was just twisted, and this is metal, so this is just completely destroyed as well. I know that these pumps here, I don't know how, I don't want to get too close to this, but you can see how dangerous this could have been. There's some wiring that's just coming out of the ground there. Obviously with gas in there, you don't want any sparks or anything like that. So it looks like that's some dead wires right there right now. But the destruction that we're seeing wherever we go is pretty apparent. There are emergency vehicles coming by here, and luckily that's all we've seen. We haven't seen very many people just that's looks like a fire truck right there headed. But the fact that this tornado ripped through, the person who I talked to saw two separate tornadoes in a matter of an hour, and one of them just missed his apartment over there. They're busy cleaning up all the roof debris that came off this store and is now in their yard. So lots to see out here, guys, and a real eye-opener to how destructive these tornadoes were earlier tonight.
John, beyond the emergency vehicles racing down the street, it looks like a ghost town where you are.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched the show The Walking Dead. It kind of feels just like an abandoned world here right now. There's not much going on, and that's a good thing. Obviously, we're trying to tell people that the storm is approaching. Obviously, we had these tornado warnings earlier on that probably scared everybody to stay in, and that's a good thing because I'm seeing what actually happened out here. And you know, if you'd been standing right here where I was when those warnings were going on, this is right where the tornado ripped through, and from what I'm hearing over there were large chunks of metal just sitting right in their yard that could have taken someone out easily and killed them.
All right, our John Evanson joining us from Palm City. He's been combing through Martin County tonight, showing us a lot of damage, talking to a lot of people who've lost their homes, their cars and vehicles. John, we'll see you a little later in the evening. Thank you.
And we have this just into our newsroom. This is the Furry Friends Adoption Clinic and Ranch that's in Palm City. And they tell us that they've been devastated by a tornado, leaving them with a total loss. They say the windows are blown in, the buildings on their side, their outdoor yards and runs are destroyed, power lines are down. This is their words: "We are truly speechless." They urgently need donations, fosters, and volunteers to help them recover and care for the animals. You know, they say that we've always supported others, and now we need your support more than ever. They say the animals are safe for now, so that's the good news. The animals are safe, but they are just devastated.
And Liz, they had been ramping up because they were going to go out and find, you know, pets that had been displaced during this storm.
During Helene.
Yeah, and so they've already had so much on their plate.
And now
they've got damage to their own
building, their facilities, and where the dogs live and stay, and the runs and all that. It's really, they need your help. They need all our help. All right, let's turn it now to our reporter, Katie Benty, who is live in Vero Beach. Katie?
Yeah, Liz, you know, we've been seeing these giant plates of metal just tossed around. Oh, sorry, it's getting a little windier out here again, but we've been seeing giant plates of metal tossed around. We couldn't really figure out where they were coming from. We've been checking roofs. Well, we took a little bit of a walk, and now we are faced with this, a giant shed. And actually, I was able to figure out what this was for. This is the Florida East Coast Railway. I actually spoke with one of the railroad workers who had just stopped by to check things out for a little bit, and he said that he believes that the tornado that must have come through here was so strong that it actually slid the cars, the trucks that were parked inside, forward. I mean, just completely crashing everything through. I mean, just look at this metal. It looks like it was bent like with ease, paper, and a lot of the stuff inside. If we take you a little bit around here, we're gonna get a much better view of the inside of this shed. The gentleman I spoke with said that it was once very organized. Everything was in here, lots of lumber and things for the railway, lots of lights. It was basically tossed around like toys, just mishmash. They weren't able to salvage virtually anything. The good news is nobody was here at the time. They just came back to check around and see how things went, and nobody could have expected to see this after. Let me give you a better look here. I mean, just look at that. Downed power lines. It's getting a little windier out here. Downed power lines, just pieces of metal crunched up. And he mentioned that, oh, don't want to trip. He mentioned that everything in here, virtually everything in here, is going to have to go. He said that basically nothing was salvageable. They tried to move some wiring, I believe, into this smaller shed, but that was about it. They really couldn't figure out anything else to do. And again, this was just a business, and thankfully nobody was hurt, nobody was home, but we're actually trying to figure out what happened. We're going to make our way down the road here in a little bit and see if there were any houses on this path of what could have been a very strong tornado. Guys?
All right, our Katie Benty joining us from Vero Beach tonight. Let's show you some scenes that are taking place over on the southwest coast right now. This is over in Fort Myers. This is some footage showing the flooding there. And this is probably from the storm surge from Milton. Our meteorologist, Michael Ehrenberg, is joining us right now. Michael, as we speak, it's making landfall. Is that correct?
Yeah, so in fact, it just made landfall moments ago. Listen, Jim, in fact, here, look at the stats at 8:30. Landfall 5 miles west of Sarasota. That's right near Siesta Key, near Longboat Key in this general vicinity south of Tampa. The models did hold their forecast for the last couple of days, so that's good. 120-mile-an-hour winds, so it made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane with the lowest pressure at 954 millibars. It was a stronger hurricane, of course, as we know, over the last few days. And as you'll notice, there's a look at the radar returns. Notice it's very dry on the southern side of this. A lot of drier air is being sucked in. So, yeah, we've got some occasional areas of showers and some rain bands to go overnight tonight, but it's going to be nothing like what we saw during the daytime hours in South Florida. So when we take a look at Milton, the lowest pressure on Milton was Monday night at 897 millibars. This makes it the 5th most intense hurricane in Atlantic hurricane history. Believe it or not, the most intense was Wilma. Remember Wilma, if you were here 19 years ago, it made landfall just south of where Milton made landfall, and that was the lowest, strongest storm at 882 millibars. Strongest storm wind-wise was Allen back in 1980, and Milton, when you look at the top winds of 180 back in Monday, it ranks ninth regarding the wind speed. And it looks like Milton actually weakened and underwent an eye wall replacement cycle during the day Tuesday, where the eye wall dissipates, it fills in and new eye wall forms outside it. That made the storm get bigger and bigger in diameter. And then that ended. We saw winds going up to 165 miles an hour yesterday. And then slow, steady weakening here as it's undergoing wind shear and the extratropical transition, and now moving inland, and it's going to continue to quickly weaken overnight tonight. By 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, it will be in the center of the state near Bartow. And then probably by about 5 or 6 in the morning, it'll emerge off of the Atlantic coast. It could be a Category 1 or maybe even weaken to a tropical storm by then. By the afternoon, it'll be a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm about 100 or 200 miles east of Daytona Beach, and then further weakening thereafter as it goes into the Atlantic. So the tropical heat potential has gone down. It was really strong in this area, deep hot water. That made it intensify. But the warm water is at a shallower depth, and there's a lot of wind shear. The twisting and turning of winds with height, along with the land interaction, is going to, again, lead to a very quick weakening of the storm. It'll be a Category 1 after midnight and possibly a tropical storm again before it emerges off the central Florida coast during the early morning hours tomorrow. We still have a tropical storm warning in effect for Palm Beach and Martin County. The winds have yet to pick up. They're going to get strong, as it's not going to make its closest approach until after midnight tonight. And then the hurricane warning still in effect for our 3 northern counties, St. Lucie, Indian River, and also the Okeechobee County vicinity. And there again, the local look at those warnings across the area. I think most areas will get away with not getting hurricane force winds, even in the warned area. They're most likely to be gusting between about 60 and 70 miles an hour. Speaking of the winds, we're already seeing tropical storm force wind gusts in West Palm, a gust of 40 there in yellow. We've got a gust of 17 in Jupiter, sustained 25, gusting to 38 in Vero Beach right now. So it's getting pretty darn windy out there, blowing things around. 26-mile-an-hour gust in Fort Pierce, and 24 sustaining 45 gusts to Okeechobee. So both West Palm and Okeechobee and almost Vero are already getting into those tropical storm force wind gusts. There's a look at the satellite and radar composite. And again, there's that eye making landfall there, or it did back at 8:30. Heavy, steady rain from Tampa and northeast up towards Daytona and up there towards Orlando and central Florida. Numerous flood alerts in effect in those green boxes. Those areas could get anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain along and north of the track. And again, there is that track continuing to move to the east and northeast. Local radar, just a lot of clouds. We did see a brief little shower move from south to north to West Palm. Thankfully, a tornado warning did not come out of that. But some of these showers, as they move quickly south to north, is still a residual threat for tornadoes, but it's not as high as it was earlier today. And we're only going to see these brief rain bands come through, if at all. You can see the Treasure Coast is pretty quiet out there right now. There's a look at some of the rainfall totals across Palm Beach County were a lot lower at 1 to 3, whereas on the Treasure Coast, we saw rain totals as much as 9 to 10 inches in the Winter Beach area. Graph hour by hour forecast. Again, there's where all the heavy rain is. This is 9 p.m. Now this rain band here I think is kind of overdone because it's 5 minutes to 9 and we don't see any of that on radar right now. So this is a little bit extreme. But notice there's a lot of gaps in between what few rain bands do come through overnight. There's a look at midnight. A little bit more rain works through, a little bit of shower activity through 3 a.m. And again, there is the eye moving offshore, according to the short-range graph model, near the Melbourne area at about 5 o'clock in the morning. And again, wrap around showers. Again, the winds right now look to be strongest tomorrow on the back end of the hurricane out of the west and southwest. This is what occurred with Wilma. We actually had the strongest winds on the backside, and one of the reasons is this is actually undergoing what we call an extratropical transition. There's some jet stream energy energizing this storm. So the winds will be strongest tomorrow after the storm moves out into the Atlantic Ocean. As far as rain tomorrow, very little, if any, maybe in Indian River and St. Lucie County, but Palm Beach County, we're going to be looking at the sunshine coming out tomorrow with just a chance for a random passing shower. And again, it continues to work further offshore as we go on through the daytime. Here's a look at the wind field, and the tropical storm force winds are in yellow. Keep in mind the tropical storm force winds go out over 200 miles from the center now. The hurricane force winds are about 60 miles from the center. That's the red area. And notice again, it's a very small area and really does not come into our local viewing area. It dissipates as it goes off the coast there. You'll notice Vero Beach could be looking at winds 59 to 73, as well as Okeechobee County as it passes through during the wee hours of the morning and then continues to push further offshore after that time period. Flood watch in effect through Thursday, but this is really due to residual amounts of rain that have been standing on there. I wouldn't be surprised if this is lifted sometime later tonight or early tomorrow because the heavy rain, again, is over with throughout the area. There are a look at the spaghetti tracks really lining up closely, so there's not going to be deviating any further south. I think we're going to be holding with the alerts that we do have. And here a look at the models, rainfall still to come.